16 degrees, I think, out. It's kind of crazy, so yeah. And this is far from ready. So
that's
so,
okay.
Yeah.
166. Hey, Gabriel. By the way, my apologies. Chuck is going to get beaten. He still has not given me those codes, so sit tight from Sunday. I've been harassing him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
It's just the beginning, but we need to have something like that. We need to have something to put on the box. So it's a beginning. Yeah, we need to tweak it 2-3 times, but I think it's kind of cool.
It is. And it says -2, which means you had a -1 somewhere.
Oh yeah, I have 10 versions that didn't make it to concept even.
Awesome.
This is the first one that I can show you, and then we have to tweak it a bit.
Very cool. Whoop. Oh yeah, an early button. Yes. Gabriel, Dorgrim, Phantom. What's going on? Look at that. All those with VIPs there. Ding, 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 ding. Already set for next week. We got the Luna. Living ground for Luna next week.
And a bunch of more ideas for coming weeks. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, that was awesome, dude.
Thanks.
Hey, it's good. You know, sometimes you just need a little kick in the teeth. You know what I mean? Norfolk just put down Lordship of the Isles, and I put the ad thing in there, and I'm like, well, come on in and talk about it. Thank you, Geek Puppet. Good to see you. If everyone's doing fine.
Hump Day.
Yes. Hey, Natural 20 Games, good to see you. Hump Day. I feel like I have nothing in my hands right now, which is not a good feeling here. It's like, where's all my stuff? There's what I'm looking for. Starting off with, hey, this is only a 3-stream week. I mean, this is a break and a half this week. And then next week we're back on 4, but I think Anna knows we have a little surprise for Sunday now. Something, no Wall of Fame discussion.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
a good surprise.
Yes.
A good little special surprise. That's good.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes, Virtual GradCon is only a month away.
Yeah, don't say that.
Oh no, why not?
Oh yeah, please, I'm getting ramped up already, so I'm working on things. So yeah.
Awesome. Good to see everyone. Oh, Pop, I'm glad you got that. Chaosium gift certificate the other night. That was awesome. It was great to hear. During the Call of Cthulhu game. The only thing I hear, the only complaint I'm having is no one got killed. And I was like, well, you know, I explained that I don't want to make it sound like a cop-out, but streaming games is different than running games at home with your friends, right? It's a little different. It's got a little different feel to it. So, it's like me not killing Ed Greenwood's character off every time he comes, he plays, right? What's the fun in that?
His compatriot's reputation you want.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Don't make Elminster come over to Altamira.
Don't make him show up.
Trollord Games, join the fray.
I'm gonna do something I shouldn't on this one, but we'll see if it works. Because I'm looking at, I'm like, where's my portrait workshops? It's not. There's no scene 15. I'm like, oh crap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit it, and I'm gonna copy it in and see if I can make that actually work during live stream. This will be a good test. Hey Rick, good to see you. Oh, to Mike Disney raiding in. What's going on, Mike?
Hi, Mike.
What's up? Good to see you, man. Hey, Taryn, too. I'll get your announcements in as soon as we go to I can do the shout-outs here. 7:50. We're 10 minutes still coming, but thanks a lot. Good to see you all. And what I'm going to do here. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? This is going to be a first time. Will this work? File. I'm gonna load this scene right in while we're live. Of course, anytime, Taryn. Alright, here we go. I gotta find it, so I'm gonna make it quick. This is gonna be interesting. Here we go. You'll see a blank screen first.
Everyone get your red buttons ready.
Oh no, you know what?
Uh-oh.
Here we go. File. Load scene. What? Alright, it did work. It did work, but it didn't go there. It didn't go right to the start here. So I'm gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna go back to it so it restarts. Look at that. So it did work. But now it won't go back to it. I tried. They got 10 seconds. Now it works. Oh, look at that. This is what happens when I mess with stuff on the fly. So there we go. It wasn't in. I for some reason I didn't put it in there. So show a little bit of that. I'm lucky. My head's spinning in 20 different directions. You know. It's a great program. Absolutely great program. Hey, Fuzz. Everyone's doing well tonight.
Remember those old ads in Dragon Magazine? People would say, send me $5 or whatever, I'll draw your picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Good times.
Always good times, right? All right, we're a little early, but who cares, right?
Yeah, you gotta pay for postage. Because we're not getting a discount.
I feel weird because this is gonna sound weird. I'm just babbling here, everyone. But it's Wednesday, the 31st. I have the next 2 Gabbins set, next week's Legends and Lore set, and the next 3 weeks of D&D content set. When the heck does that ever happen? Hey, John. I mean, that never happens. John, Blue Box. Never happens. Welcome tonight, Islands of Greyhawk. This is going to be a really cool discussion. Really, really cool. I'm gonna come in and get all the announcements here for all the stuff that has happened. Hey, Stevie Mill Plays, brand new to the stream. Welcome. Hey, Mystical, good to see you. Welcome. This is gonna be a really cool discussion. Welcome, Monred and everyone else. Hello.
Can't destroy the Forgotten Realms. They've been destroyed several times.
We're going to destroy. You know what? The Forgotten Realms will get destroyed on Sunday, and we'll talk about that in a second here. So. Yep, Stevie Mill Place, thank you for the follow. I'll click that in right now as we speak. So here, we're going to get caught up. Raid from Mike Disney, Raid from Blue Box, Stevie Mill Place, follow. We'll get them all caught up, the wonders of Streamlabs. So we're coming on a little, look, we're 5 minutes early, but that's okay. I know everyone had some great discussions. Mike had a great painting session going on, and John had a really cool discussion on streaming. And let me tell you something. John and Rob, who was helping out, and crew, I taught myself all this stuff, and I still make mistakes. You all know I hit wrong buttons all the time on my stream deck, but it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. But you know, it's a lot of messed up. Which island is that? We're going to show we're going to talk about all the islands in Greyhawk.
No, don't say that, because there's a whole bunch of them.
A lot of the islands in Greyhawk. How's that sound?
Yeah,
and hopefully.
A bunch of them.
The thing below me will be available again for a giveaway, not a giveaway, but for how should I say this? That's what I forgot to get out for download, because I got my own my hard copy here, getting it out. Legends of Lore 92. We gave this away in PDF to everyone, and that's Isle of Dread by Pluffett Smedger, and that was over a year ago, and a lot of you were new. So in that time, so I'm going to see if I can get Gary to get this reopened again, so everyone can get this great PDF download as we talk islands tonight, which would be really a neat thing. So sound like a plan? So with me is Anna B. Meyer and the great Greyhawk Mike Bridges.
Hi guys.
Yes, and welcome. And so tonight we kick off the week. Mike comes up with the great ideas here on Legends and Lore. So, Islands of Greyhawk tonight.
So this idea has been sitting on the shelf for a while, by the way.
Oh yeah, we mentioned it so many times.
Yeah, and I hope Gary Julian does show up today, because he says we're scraping the bottom of the barrel with this topic.
I think he was joking.
I disagree.
Wholly. Yeah,
this is a deep topic.
This is a great topic, really good, and there are so many. Of course, John, and thank you. There are so many. My table's bigger. That's a joke from the previous stream.
Yeah, but I also think it's important because islands in themselves are good adventure locations. They are kind of a mini setting. You can bring a party there, and it's like a dungeon outside, because it has finite dimensions. Even if they're big or small, you can have finite dimension. If they have no real, especially low-level parties, no magic getaway, no boat, whatever, then it will be like a dungeon. You have to kind of go through it in order to and you can it's easy to map, and it's easy to have an overview, and it kind of contains the party very much similar ways as a dungeon would.
Self-contained setting, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! Even Orcus Rex is on from Norway. Wow!
Yeah.
Oh my! We got the whole crew in there. So how could the Odyssey ever be wrong? So what we will do, and let me get this set up, and we're going to do some and they have not come yet. Patrick, but I know we got plenty. So let me set up the giveaway for some. We'll do at least one set for this. So Mirias, thank you very much. Good to see you. Here we go. Here, classic D&D giveaways are set there. Just hit exclamation point drawing. Get your choice of 2. And let me go through the pile of some of the ones that we have. We have some really good ones here. Grab the pile. So, Silver Key, Puppets. Eric Martin would be happy.
Puppets.
Durgam's Folly, Veiled Society, Beyond the Crystal Cave, Vault of Larencar. I love that one. Earthshaker, Legacy of Blood, Duchy of 10, some others from Needle. I'm going to go deep in here. Yeah, the Duchy. Yeah, that's from the. Those are the DA series ones, so you can even get some of them.
That's the only one of the series I don't have.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Very, very cool. So we're going to give away 2 of these. Your choice of 2 in this pile here. And I always, if we ever get a decent hype train, I always double it. But for now we got that. And then note tomorrow night's Reaper Miniatures giveaway. Plus, we're going to do another Portrait Workshop giveaway tomorrow because the person who won it last Thursday said, you can throw it back in the pot. So it's like, okay. So we're going to do another one there. See, now look, John starts hitting up the hype train stuff. John started. That's awesome, John. Thanks. So I think we'll be getting one there.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very good. Nice. Boom. Just like that. So awesome. All right. So where to start?
A single island yet.
I'm going to state something, and it will go over later in the show. I'll go over a couple that I think. Oh, Rob, there you go. All right, doubled. Man. 2 sets of giveaways. Boom, just like that. All right. So we'll do 2 sets of giveaways. You got another 5 gifts up. You can make up your own small islands in Greyhawk. There's plenty of room, and I'll show one that's on the map that Anna put on the map, and one nearby that one. It's that should be on the map too. So
Anna's probably created a lot more islands than anyone.
She has
probably done more even than Darlene.
She has.
and yeah, it's all about scale, right?
Yeah, and I have named a few and put them in. So that will be one of the entry I will talk about because I've actually developed a few for my campaign that are on the map, and there's a couple of that Carlos had developed and stuff. So there's some special ones coming here that I don't think so many have heard about. So and also the smallest name. There are 2 smallest name islands that kind of compete on the map to be the smallest islands that are named on the map and the biggest one. So you can start looking at the map and see if you can find them.
Fun discussion tonight. So
hint, it's not in all.
No, we'll see if there are any islands in all. It might be small ones in rivers.
Wow, you guys are oh my gosh, you guys are cranking it. Thank you all. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So really appreciate. Oh my gosh!
Patrick wasn't going to.
Wow,
this is crazy.
Yes. So here is the special surprise. Maybe some of you saw in some of the posts, but remember, I said on Sunday night stream, if we're going to do the Wall of Fame deep dive, but we're maybe working on a special guest. So, and these will still go on the other screen here. So I get a message in Discord from Ed Greenwood. He's like, hey, Jay, September 4th just opened up for me. I know it's real short notice, but do you want to do that gabbing on Monsters of Greyhawk and the Realms now? I know you're probably busy. You can't fit it in. I'm like, Ed, I'll fit you in. So Sunday night, Ed is back. Ed Greenwood's back with Eric Mengi, definitely, and probably Eric Boyd. He's trying to work around, see if he's got family stuff. It's a Labor Day weekend. So Sunday night, 7 o'clock, Ed is back. And then Ed's back the following Saturday with everyone. So
I bet you've lost track of how many times Ed has been on your show.
Oh, it's approaching Len levels.
Oh,
man. Yeah, so Ed will be back on Sunday, and then Saturday the 10th, the game is, and John is busting my stone something fierce there, which is really funny. Someone in Facebook said, you're lying, you never played with Ed Greenwood. Yeah, that was really funny. The wonders of Facebook posts.
Greenwood show. Avon's right.
Crazy stuff. So, yes, filmed at the Ed Greenwood Center. Ed Greenwood. Hey, if he wants to come on, and he wants to chat about stuff. I'm excited about it because we'll get a lot of Greyhawk talk in. Plus, Ed always makes up some great Greyhawk lore for us too. this thing is the good thing is you can't see my face anyway, so I can't show. Also, what I have on right now, and that is a brand new Lord Gazumba color shirt. There you go. Look at that.
Ooh.
I got the light blue. So it's in limited supply. I wanted to do a test run out there. They are available on the TTE site, just like the purple one, limited, because we sold through a lot of them, and the lime green ones are on there. So let me just hit up where they are. You got to be, in for Virtual GrowCon. You could get one if you want, and I will ship it right out, just so you're aware. Okay, so where do we start in this wonderful discussion? Do we go? Everyone said Isle of the Ape. Do we go to Isle of the Ape first?
Can we name the biggest one that is named on my map? Just it will be a quickie one, so to speak. Yeah, but that's not an island.
Oh, it's
that's
not.
part of the continent.
Hey,
yes, but
you're
not too far off, so to speak. And because it is by the Hepmona land at the south, there is the Isle of Singing Stones is the biggest one that is named. That is definitely an island.
That is the biggest island, huh?
Is it here? Is it on this map?
No, on my map at the very bottom of my map.
Oh wow!
There is,
okay,
it's so
map.
mysterious it doesn't show up on my map.
It's bigger. Yeah, it's the biggest. Yeah, it's the biggest. The Isle of Singing Stones at the southwest end of the Hepmona land. That is too big. It's like the real world, meaning it's Australian island. Greenland is definitely an island, and it depends on how you treat geography. But it's the biggest one named clearly as an island.
So go to
why is it
here. Here, if you want to read about the Isle of Singing.
Yes,
exactly.
the Scarlet Brotherhood
has
references where you read about that. Yeah,
exactly. And has no settlements or nothing. It's just there's some rumors, and it's ripe for development, so to speak. And it's
super
mainly
mysterious.
Desert.
Not even the people who live on the coast across from it know what's on that island.
So Gary,
super mysterious.
Gary just said scraping the bottom, Mike, and Mike already threw the first punches on that. Yeah, he says no way. This is a rich one.
You down.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest that is named on the map. Yep.
But shall we go to the one that everyone said in chat early on and start there? How's that sound?
Yeah, please.
Here we go. The Isle of the Ape.
I would scratch that one right off my list if I wanted to be technical, because that is not the world of Greyhawk. It's a demi-plane.
Exactly.
It's a demi-plane.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. But it is a connection to Greyhawk Adventure.
Yeah, it is an island. Accessible from Greyhawk.
Curtis just made a weird science reference to Gary Julian. Who's this Gary character?
Gary.
The parents forgot Anthony Michael Hall's name. That was awesome, Curtis.
Island with an ape on it.
Woohoo! And look at that. You got so John and oh my gosh, Canadian and Phantom and oh my, I apologize. And Uncle Fuzz, thank you. All of you, John with multiple gift subs galore. Thank you so very much. Really, it's still going. Really appreciate it. And it also has an ape. And you also go back to it in Expeditions to Ruins of Greyhawk. You do hop back into that when you're trying to find those pieces at the end.
Okay, one adventure hook per island.
Yeah.
Adventure hook. You're going there to get the Crook of Rao.
Yes, Mordecai's fantastic. No, is that it? Yeah.
You save the world.
You save the world.
To get the Crook from the Isle of the Ape.
Even though the Crook really had no significance because this was before From the Ashes.
Yeah, so but maybe someone had that in mind when they designed it or something.
Still wanted it for some nefarious purpose.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, true. But
maybe to prevent good people from using it.
Yeah, I think this is actual island I think this is actually from Expeditions. This map. It's a nice map. Showing you all those blown up locations where it is and all. But it's what is it, about 100 miles across? So all right, well that's our first one.
That's pretty big. You say it's 100 miles across.
Well, look,
that's big for
this is
being
10.
island.
This is 10. Maybe
that's
70
hexes, right?
Yeah.
Two hexes. That's still pretty big.
Yeah.
That would show up on the Darlene map.
Oh yeah, there will be more. There will be three hexes across, or at least two. Yeah. So it's big.
It's a decent size. So our first one there. So Igulf wanted to remove a place so their son's armies carefully negotiated could arrive in time for the war. Well, there you go. So yes, it's always good to have some kind of lore connection to it. But that's all right. So this one does not appear on the Greyhawk world map anywhere, but there's a connection to it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, which is always a wonderful thing. Listen, I trade it for a prosciutto, fresh mozzarella, roasted. Yes. That's awesome. So there you go. First one. Boom, as Mike says, done.
Isle of the Ape.
Isle of the Ape.
I've never ran that. Have either of you?
No, we've been there. That's all I can say because we ran expeditions, but we didn't. We did not run that one in its entirety.
What is the hook in expeditions to go there?
There's three pieces of something that was broken, and I forget at the very end that you need a power source for. To fight the live. This is bizarre. The simulacrum of Igwolf that has become sentient because Vayne screwed up and she's getting her own power, and you need three. There's three people because you also have to go to. You also have to go to Fantastic. You have to go to the Dungeon Land too. You got to go there and deal with them, and so there's three places you're going that are like special guest appearances all. On different adventures. Yep, absolutely. So very cool. All right, let's get another big one out of the way. All right, sound good? All right. We'll just scroll over here. We got a lot of people on, so this is no to Leonard. Lendor Isle.
Yep.
So Len Kafka's campaign. And this and this is there a link to Isle of the Ape to Castle Greyhawk? Yes, there is. There's a link to Dungeon Land too. To the Cheshire Cat and all that crazy stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So, Varl, thank you. So Len Kafka's campaign is here. We know that Schick put his campaign in, that Alan Hammock put his campaign in, and these added in pieces to the original Greyhawk. Well, so did Leonard added Lendor Isle in. And Secret of Bone Hill takes place here. Assassin's Knot takes place here. Deep Dwarven Delve L3 takes place here. And then the Croton Adventures L4 and L5. And I'm assuming Ravages the Mind does not. Ravages the Mind takes place in Ratic, if I recall. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
This now... Those are easily replaced if you don't want them out in the middle of nowhere. But this Leonard's Isle is a cool place. So, and the elves don't go there and often like they do the what do you call it? The Pelennor. What's the fields that the place they go to in Lord of the Rings? They go over to the shores and stuff. They try turning that into that, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, you mean the havens?
The chain is called the Springer Files, and the largest is Lendor. I think the map has Lendor Isles on it.
Thanks, Avon.
Well, it says Lendor Isle here. Lendor Isle here. It's the southernmost of the spin. Yeah. So you're saying
that was the conundrum that I had, because there's so many different ways of calling them, naming them in different ways. So that's good, Gary, if we can straighten that out, because they are sometimes called the Lendor Isles, meaning the whole isles, or Lendor Isle, just Kafka's Lendor Isle, so to speak. And then they're called the Spindrifts, sometimes referring to just the Elven Isles north of it, so to speak, that is kind of hidden realm, or sometimes the whole thing. And they have different heraldry, and I think it's because in the beginning there was probably some sort of idea of how that was supposed to be, but the problem was that from Carl Sargent era onwards, there were a lot of people that wrote about it, added to it without having thought through, and now we have different references that and they only mention them in kind of little bit here and there, so I don't know exactly how they're supposed to be named. It's one of these really weird things. So but thank you Gary, we need to straighten that out once and for all. It's one of the mysteries.
I like
Avon Avengers just said that Carl Sargent really is the one who absconded.
Started there, and then people built on his work and looked back at the old stuff, and Living Greyhawk kind of added to the confusion when it comes to naming and stuff. So it's kind of it's one of these conundrums, what belongs to where. So in a way I would like to separate them if they're supposed to be separated. I'm not really sure. So it's kind of
Well, the happy medium is you make these all the Elven Isles here. If you
That's
want
what
that, and then
that's
the
what most
and the
most have
bottom
seemed
one
to have
Lindor.
done that,
Yeah.
and then the living Greyhawk came and smashed them all together again at
Right.
the end, so to speak,
and had that
and
big,
had
like,
the elves
woo,
invading
yeah,
the
around
whole
it.
thing
Yeah.
and all that. So for a while, someone need to have now make that the Elven realm up there, and then have the Lindor down there being its own thing, and then they mashed it up again. So it's one of these things like that happens. So yeah.
No Midgard. Midgard's not getting that heraldry, but the Altamir box set is Orcus. There you go. So some stuff. Did Living Greyhawk do anything with Lindor besides destroy it? I'm kidding. That was a joke. I don't think so.
It wasn't a region.
It wasn't a region.
Right?
So
No.
yeah, Altamira. Yeah. So there you go. All right, Anna, Mike, shots fired. Go.
Okay, I'll go. That took the
one.
biggest before, so now we go to one of the smallest one, and that is that there's a couple of I have three obvious ones that are listed as the smallest, but I want to have two separate. And let's start with one that is so small that you can barely see it, but it has a name on the map, and it's probably not named on your map, Jay. We'll see. It's Firewatch Island. Ring any bells?
Firewatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from a Dungeon adventure, Dungeon 106, and it's from an adventure called Tamarat's Fate.
That's from Ghost of Saltmarsh.
Okay, so heard of it.
It's up here, right?
And
it's in the near deep, isn't it?
Nope, it's not near deep. No, it's in Realmore Bay.
Realmore.
Yeah, by Niron, the coast. Near, hang on a second here.
This one here. That one?
Nope.
No?
Nope. It's not that big. It's small. It is near the town called Uskarn. Go west.
Go west,
west
young man.
West a little bit. Now you see it at the end, the bottom left corner there.
Oh. No, I don't see it still.
Oh yeah, but zoom in now.
Zoom in now?
And go west. Zoom in, go west.
Oh, there it is. I see it now.
Yeah, it's
there
a
little I didn't realize it was
dog.
there. I always thought it was in the near Div.
No, it's not. That's Firewatch Island.
How big is that island, Anna?
It's a square mile, or roughly a square mile. So it's roughly a square mile. I actually had to fake it because I actually doodled it in Photoshop afterwards because it was not naturally done there.
Tamarat's Fate the one Mike Merles wrote?
Hang on a second. I have it up here. Dungeon 06. Peter Bergting. Bergting.
I know that's in Ghost of Saltmarsh.
No, sorry, by Greg Vaughn.
Oh, Greg Vaughn. Okay.
Greg Vaughn. Yeah, Greg Vaughn.
It was a big name who wrote that one.
Peter Bergting and Rob Lesaretti made the map in Dungeon, and Peter Bergting made the other illustrations. But it was Greg Vaughn that made the.
Greg Vaughn. Yeah. Good old Eric.
Then we
Eric was on 2 weeks ago.
Yep. And then we have another one that has a cool little story that I talked about like a month ago or two, and that's from our friend Carlos Lacey at Castle Entertainment. He made a map that made an adventure that was that he A7 called Marquesa, Thy Name is Evil, and he ran it at GaryCon.
I know where that one is.
4 years ago, I think it was. And exactly.
I knew this.
There was an island. It was called Moray Point or Moreau Point. I'm not sure. I pronounce it. But the funny thing was that when he ran the adventure, he had just written it, I think, and he ran it for a group of people. And I think Mike was you were not part of that crew, but no, I don't think you were.
This was the third Marquesa one that he wrote.
Exactly, it was one of the Marquesa series. Marquesa, Thy Name is Evil, in the adventure A7, and he had a little island in the Woolly Bay, and he had placed it more detailed than that. And so when he started describing the adventure, I went like, oh, I look at my map and I was like, there's a little island. We looked at it and then we decided then and there, that's the island, and I named it. So now it's Moreau Point. That's the name. So that's one of the other candidates for smallest. And then there's two others, one kind of obvious one. And now we have to go to one of Mike's stomping grounds here. And
what?
Yes, we have to. We have to go to Sea Princess.
Oh,
Yep. So go down to Sea Princess. Yep. There is a couple. One when
Small
it comes
island?
to the smallest little island. Go between Mornmerg and Jetsam Island. There's a little rock sticking out of the water that's called Helm's Rock. That's one of the smallest little dots. It's not. It's under there. It's so small you can't see it.
What's the story behind that?
I forgot where it's something that is added. I think it's from the Living Greyhawk adventure, like a lot of these little details.
I'm not even familiar with that.
Yeah,
Just
someone,
kidding,
something happens. So Helm's Rock, so it's named somewhere there. So, and then you have Skian Isle next door, but that's a fairly big island there. So
Gary created Helm's Rock.
Oh, okay, good.
Wait, you never believe what it's used for, Gary. You got to tell us, man.
Yeah, please
see?
Helm's Rock.
You got to tell us on that then.
Is that where they worship the god Helm?
That might be.
Don't
you
say
never
that.
know.
That's a Forgotten Realms deity.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And then there's one next door down there. It's called Poisoned Isles, and that's just some reefs, so to speak, or something.
I'm sure it's a nautical reason, right? Helm Rock?
Yeah,
Poison Isles.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, they run ships aground there. Maybe?
So that was the list of tiny little islands that there's Tyrant's Rock. There's a bunch of little rocks there that I probably have to paint in.
It's a place of punishment for even pirates have codes. Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
A place to maroon people, but still within normal traffic lanes, unfortunately.
Yeah. So Gary, I should have sent you a Discord message, and I don't know if it's up on Cannon Fire's site, but if we have a link to this for tonight, this was done in 92 because we're going to discuss this tonight again for the PDF. Let me know if there's a site where everyone, if not, we could set it up afterwards. But yeah, definitely a great thing. It's been
all those little islands?
Legends and Lore 92.
Just now learning about
We're on 166 now, so it's 68 Legends and Lores ago. It's well over a year ago that we discussed
awesome.
that.
Thank you, Gary, for coming up with these cool little places.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yep. So not 1992, no. Legends and Lore 92. All right, while we're here, Mike, let's just stay. And I remember discussion of the Battle of Flotsam and Jetsam Islands. The big naval fight was here. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, it's the Battle of Jetsam Island.
Okay.
And that's where Q-Land smacked the pirates and defeated them, sunk the Sea Prince, where they named their country after the Sea Prince ship, and the pirates then after that battle kind of withdrew, licked their wounds, kind of went semi-legit. So it's kind of odd that their most famous battle is a loss, because after that the Sea Princes are pretty, well put together. I don't know if the exact location of the battle is marked on any map.
No,
but
I don't
assume
think so.
If you name a battle after an island, it's probably within the coast of it somewhere.
Yeah.
I imagine if a big armada of ships are coming from Q-Land, the Sea Princes went to head them off at Jetsam Island, so that they wouldn't get to Monmouth. That's my guess.
It is near the Scimitar Isles. Okay. Yep. So lots of good the scimitars, which it just says the scimitars. So look, you can barely see them. They're right there, right there. So it's probably in this area here.
Nice. There's some dots under there you can barely see. So they're like a square mile in size.
It's a great.
So if it's near the scimitars, to me it sounds like a dangerous navigational area, and that the pirates were trying to lure the Q-ish in there, cause some damage or something.
Yeah,
if I had to guess.
Absolutely. So very cool.
Yeah.
And the good thing is you notice on these maps, like there's islands all over the place that, like this one right here, that are not named to everyone. So
that's what my algorithms came up with, and I'm going to present a few at the end. First, some of them that I'm named, and some of the other ones that I think are cool campaign locations. So
that's awesome.
That you can develop. Yep.
That is great to hear. Remember, guys and gals, we have 2 giveaways: exclamation point drawing. Duchy of Berghoff stuff, but did not get far. Well, Duchy of Berghoff stuff is the UK's. Yes. So puppet. Remember, Gargoyle was a fundraiser event from last year. So have at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Mm.
wonderful areas.
Not that
Battle
many
of Just
islands
Now.
down there, though.
No, there
That's
aren't.
yeah.
That's because I'm. No, I got some islands. I got some
Yep.
islands on my map. We'll get to them.
Shoot.
So, Mike, you're up.
Okay, since I know my friend Troy's watching, let's talk about the Brink Islands.
Oh,
Up north.
awesome.
Up
Yep.
north.
The
Yeah.
most northerly named
Yeah.
Here?
island on my
In the
map.
Drummage?
Yep. Yep. No, the way more
Nope.
further.
Oh,
see-
here.
I see
Oh, I
sea.
see.
There you
Oh, I
go.
see
Straight
them.
up.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
even
Straight up.
icebound. In
Way
my
up.
latest version of the map, they're
They're
all
locked
frozen
up in
in.
ice.
Nice.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
locked up in
So I
ice.
guess
baptized.
there's seasons for them. Would you say, Anna? There's seasons
No, I
where you
think
can
they're
get
frozen
in and out.
in most of the
Always.
years. So there's almost all of the years.
Okay.
Yeah, the southerly ones are depending. They probably melt a little bit in the summer here and there, but
Yeah,
they're
there's got to
mostly.
be some way
Yeah.
for the
mhm.
barbarians that live there to get down to the Tusking Strand on the
Oh
coast.
yeah, but they probably go along the coast. They can go over on the ice and go all the way down. So
But-
they
Yeah, so the Zi live there, and they're supposed to be Sewell, right? They're cousins of the ice barbarians. So I'm assuming they probably sailed over one day, got trapped in the ice evidently, because Anna says, and they've been hunting all the stuff with ivory ever since.
yeah. And if you want to go polar bear hunting, I bet that's
Gotcha.
one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
best locations.
Yes,
So and
a
you
lot
can
of
hunt
creatures.
all sorts of things that live on the ice, like the Inuit have been doing in the real world and stuff,
Right.
but fantasy version of it. Yeah.
And and if you want hooks, like Gary says, here you go. You got Land of Black Ice, you got Blackmore,
Mhm.
the Burial Forest nearby, all the wildlife, that you could want on the ice. And then there's also a lot of adventures. I think you got if any Blackmore adventures you want to run, you can set in that general area. There's that Raiders of the Black Ice from Dungeon Magazine that Wolfgang Bauer wrote.
Yeah, which is I ran that. It's a good adventure.
There's
Yeah,
a
I just
lot
need
of
to go and
stuff.
fill my water bottle.
Okay.
I'll be
That's
back
all
in
right,
a
Anna.
minute.
Go for it.
So while the Brink Isles themselves is undeveloped, it's just it's an interesting place to set a campaign, if you want to do that, living hard survivalist type thing.
So Avon, what's your Discord name again? I can't. There's so many names, so trying to get them all crossed over and stuff. It's well, so it's ice locked. So it reminds me of that ill-fated that they did the TV show The Terror on, right? One of the ships was, when the two British ships were trying to find Northwest Passage in the 1840s and they got stuck. Kind of reminds me of that area up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I like about the Brink Islands is I'm not really sure when those islands were created. Obviously, they're not on the Darlene map. That's a point where it's cut off. So did it show up on the inset map in the glossography? Was there islands there, or is this something that came along in second edition? I don't really recall.
Not sure.
I'm sure someone in the chat will know.
Yeah. Terror was good. It was good. It was very well done. It put a spin on historical fiction, as they call it, right? There's a lot of historical things that go on in that, with them stuck there and all, and them walking, trying to get away, trying to make it all the way to the base 800 miles away, and all. So yeah. Stay away from the Orcus. No, we haven't. We stay away from a lot of that stuff because a lot of times we want to stay away from controversial issues on the channel. Just sometimes, yeah. But you never know what we'll do. All right, let's shoot for. Here we go. My turn here.
Yep.
I'm going to go very basic. Well, actually not. Where's the Red Fleet? Right here. Let me go to Mike's map.
The what?
The Crimson Fleet.
Crimson
Fleet. Here's Scuttle Cove, right? Scuttle Cove and the Pirate Isles.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So unremarkable. You did. I still owe you a code. Chuck hasn't got me the codes yet for Sunday. Just note, I have 4 people who I got to get codes to, including Monkey, who won the book.
I probably need to put that on the list to do.
Yeah. So Scuttle Cove.
Put it in.
Scuttle Cove is in the Savage Tide. Also, is also, I believe, the one where James Jacobs did with the really bad one with that was in the Dragon magazine one. Oh my gosh, with the demon and the House of Horrors in it. You slaughter everyone inside it. That he crossed the line on, was all out of this area. Yeah.
It's not a nice place.
Yeah, so it's.
I
really
kind of tone it
despicable
down
place.
myself. It's really over the top in that adventure path. I like to tone it down some. Scuttle Cove is set on an island called Circovia, which is one of the many islands in the Pirate Isles.
There are a lot here. There are a lot of islands here. I don't know if Troy or anyone else has decided what the largest island is. Why that one?
It was the Forgotten Isle.
That's
that thankfully
Isle?
Mike remembered because he looked at the from the glossography. There's that tiny little map that has that island in. Yeah. And that's been forgotten on almost because there's several other maps being made. So Mike is the one that found we had a forgotten
used to think
forest.
that was the Isle of Dread.
Yeah,
no,
we used to have a we had a
These maps are in here too, everyone. All right,
Ooh,
they're in here.
Yeah,
nice.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had a forgotten forest that was on that tiny little map that Darlene forgot to put in for Yundi. And so I put it in after we found it many years later. And then Mike found this Forgotten Island that is also on that tiny little map in the glossography that was forgotten afterwards. So it's kind of, yeah, it's fun when things disappear and then we've forgotten and then we find them again.
Mirias says he puts Freeport down here instead of up in the that's Empire of the Ghouls. I think I have Empire of the Ghouls, but I think Freeport I only have in PDF. So yeah, the Green Ronin or
yeah, I think it's Green Ronin.
Yeah. Are there dinosaurs in Greyhawk? Yes, Mike, and that drives John crazy. We'll get there.
Yeah, depends. Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
There's one.
Yeah, it's in Ganode Bay on the island of Ganode. That's where it's been placed or
is that Lordship of the Isles? Or is that...
Yeah. You had the mouse pointed just on it. You had it. Yeah, you had it on. You zoomed. No. Come on.
I was going to switch.
There you go. I
wanted to switch to a better map.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go there. Yeah, and then zoom in. Ganode. Yeah.
Mahan is there.
Exactly. That's that's Freeport. When we talked.
Okay.
With Promise. Okay. Yeah, we placed it there. So yeah. So Mahan. So you can change that for Freeport or change the name or change the name on Freeport and call it Mahan because there is a Yeah,
okay, cool. And that is where that is, and we can.
That was a kind of a little tip from
the Lordship of the Isles. Are these the ones that kind of went Sea Prince's way at second edition, or is that
went Scarlet Brotherhood?
Scarlet Brotherhood. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. My bad. Yeah.
They went Scarlet Brotherhood and then they had something to do with Osson wanted help from them and then Osson during the raid was let down by them because they turned Scarlet Brotherhood and they didn't come and help him and stuff. So that was
for Osson. Yep.
Yeah.
So and Mirias, there's no right or wrong. I mean, wherever you place it, I was gonna say that there's a couple other cool places to place it as well, but that seems to be a consensus thing just because it fits size-wise and all. But that's perfectly fine there. Yeah. So yeah, the Pirate Isles is
that's the old map.
It's
the latest edition of the map. I think it was 22. Then I added in that big island and stuff there. So Pirate Isles got and then I forgot Scuttle Cove. It was on my list to do and I forgot it. So yep. So now I put it back on my list to do again. So
again, if you want to know more about Pirate Isles, grab your Scarlet Brotherhood.
Yep.
Source book.
Or Scuttle Cove, Scarlet Tide. Savage Tide. Oh my God.
Yep.
Savage Tide.
Yep.
Absolutely for that. Okay, Anna, you're up.
Yep. I'm just gonna. There we go. Okay, now we have a couple of hidden islands that most people don't realize are islands, but they're actually are islands, so to speak. And the most kind of obvious, but still hard to realize it is an island. It's the Scragholm Isle.
Yeah, you took mine. That's awesome.
yeah, that's getting over kind of missed as an island, so to speak, because you need to kind of look close on the map to see it. And so there's Scragholm Isle with that I have as an island that is basically a low, hardly no. There's a couple of little tiny hills. I'm actually mapping it for my campaign in porta potty scale right now. So it's and it's basically the river delta. So it's kind of a floodplain, most of it, and swampy sides and stuff. And there's a couple of places that are a bit higher, a few hundred feet above sea level or above near div, so to speak. But most of it is flat, mud flats, so to speak.
What's the hook for going to Scragholm Isle?
It is one of these places that the Knights of Holy Shielding and the Shieldlanders held on to during the war. So they use it as a base, so to speak. So Bright Sentry was something they held on to. Now there is they built a town and a port next to it that I call Bright Port for obvious reasons, but that was not named, but it's mentioned, so to speak, that they built a port next to it and stuff. And there's multiple other things being developed there, but they were never detailed much in the Living Greyhawk because they stopped mentioning it much. It was just mentioned that they held on to it, and then it's not mentioned much.
Held on to or reclaimed?
I think they held on to it. That's what my sense, because first of all, I think the orcs were probably hesitant to try and get across marshlands and stuff. It's not easy to invade, so to speak, unless you come from the air or some other plane or something. So it's it's one of these things, and I have I have added a whole bunch of stuff to it, so to speak. So there's
you're developing this area.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So there is they developed it because it's kind of stayed as a safe haven during the war. Are
there any scrags still?
That's what's good to say. Scragholm,
I
exactly. I'm sure that there have been scrags
like
coming up there. That's why it got its name. So yeah, which is kind of cool. So yeah,
cool. Okay, go for it. You got another one, Anna? You said.
Yep, there's another one, a small one, and it's much smaller, and most people don't realize the Isle of Evanston.
Evanston?
Yep, Evanston. That's really superior overclass, or that's a 1,000 point in Greyhawk geography. Anyone who can can place that one, it's kind of Oh, look at that. Gary, he is on it. Yep, the Yavan River. Yep. It's between Keolan and Steric. It's Yavan actually flows on both sides, so it creates an island.
I did not know that.
That's
the Isle of Evanston. Yep.
So
it's
there it is.
The Davish and the Yavan forms the So and it's fairly big island. So yep.
I would have never known that.
Yep. So that's meaning there are islands hidden away in the most obscure places at times. So
yes,
and it's just like there is in the real world too. A lot of rivers create fairly big islands that are islands in that sense that you need a boat to get there unless someone builds a river or start a ferry or something. But
it's on the other side of the border. It's actually looks like it's all in Steric.
Yeah, I think that has gone back and forth depending on which version. 572, I think it was Steric, and then when Steric was overrun, the Kiowish took it over. I think that's when it was mentioned, so to speak. So it's gone back and forth. So yeah,
interesting.
It was one of these places that was kind of dragged in during the war. So that's what some of my kind of candidates for the most hidden or most hard to find.
Yes. I think I have a candidate.
Yeah.
I have a candidate, but I think it was shot down a long time ago.
So
let me I'm gonna post it here. So I did this post from 3 years ago where I thought that the domain of Greyhawk is an island. And then I guess people in the comments explained to me that it's a bifurcated lake. I don't know what that is. But if you look where the rivers go, the near div rivers and then the seas, the domain of Greyhawk is an island, right?
That's an interesting because you have the Celinton on one side and the other one. So and this is one of the geography has a lot of these kind of questionable definitions. It's a
Mhm.
bit like where do the eastern border of Europe, so to speak. They're just arbitrary. You just call part of Eurasia for Europe and say
Yeah.
it's a different part of the
Right.
world. And here it is that rivers, yeah, that could be islands in the rivers or between branches of a river, but between two rivers, I don't think you will call it an island. So that's the I think that's the basic definition, but it's one of these things that aren't really hard drawn, so to speak. But I think it's a cool one, and you can probably find more kind of candidates like that are islands or near islands, so to speak.
Like Manhattan's an island, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's
is
similar.
because you have
Greyhawk could be similar.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Valmoka said Rune Island in Geoff. Is there an island in Geoff?
Geoff.
That might be. Hang on a second here.
Geoff.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Where? All right, Michael. Where is it?
Yeah. Now we have to.
Is it in the Rushmores? Isle of Rune, far west side. Far west side.
Far west side. That's what?
Oh, I see it.
Ow.
All right, there. Isle of Rune. It looks like it's in a freshwater lake.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Yep. So we have the Isle of Rune. Yep.
That's got to be Living Greyhawk, right?
Well, it's got like it's a rest stop. It looks like it's got a restaurant logo here.
And there's and this is one of the things that come with my algorithm. When I do fractals and stuff, there pops up little islands in lakes almost everywhere. And that was one of the other thing I want to talk about, small islands in the lake. But now it's up to Mike and UJ to go with things here.
Well, so I'm gonna do one that's kind of cheesy. It's not cheesy for Dale. I sure just put Asperd Isle. Now, the only reason is we had no idea what we're doing back in the day, and Sea Barons, right? It's Asperd.
Yeah.
So here's Asperd Isle. So we had Bill made up a. It's almost like a sword sing class, kind of like a Kensai class. They're called Renshei. They fight with weapons. They're from a novel. So I said, this is as good a place as any because they're sea based. So I said they're from Asperd Isle. So there you go. And or the Isle of Lost Souls. Give the Arity some love. I don't know enough to talk about these. Does either of you know enough?
Asperity?
Yeah.
Isle?
Yep.
Let's see. That would be the most populated island, right? That's where the capital's at, correct?
Yeah, and the Cauldron of Knights here too.
Yeah.
And Tar Hill is there.
Oh, Tar Hill. Okay.
And that's the Cauldron of Knights below Tar Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a secret. So that shouldn't show up on a map.
No, I know, but I put it there.
Tar
anyway.
Hill.
Yeah.
Right.
It should be Tar Hill. Yeah, anyhow,
cool.
No, so Asperity Isle, it's let me think. Oh, okay, so the one north of it is Oak Isle or something like Oaken Isle.
Oak Isle is the eastern one, I think, and Asperity is the northern one, and then you have
because Oak Isle has all the trees that they make their boats from, right? And I guess Asperity is the one they live on.
Yeah, they all seem to have a lot of trees and stuff, but I guess the Asperity is the closest to mainland, so it probably got the one that they chopped down most of it. So most of the best ones
is the coolest one.
Yeah, Serpent Isle is a cool one. But
the Cauldron of Knights, though, being on Asperity Isle is an interesting distinction for them because it's one of these evil power sources, for the Great Kingdom, and for the Sea Barons to have somewhat control over that is a nice leverage if you're playing that political game.
But in the beginning, during the Great Kingdom era, wasn't Sea Barons just part of Great Kingdom, and then they kind of when the Great Kingdom fell apart, they kind of just we are by ourselves now?
I assume they were always still part of.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they ever fell apart.
They just stay there and they're like Relastra. They fell apart and now we're
Relastra is definitely free.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the Sea Barons were free.
Okay, that's an interesting
It's a great place to farm malachite.
Yes, that's a good point. There should be a lot of malachite there.
Yeah.
And
all I've never used the Sea
Malachite.
Barons in Adventures. So
No, me neither. I've never been close.
who are the Sea Barons' enemies? Are Sea Barons' enemies the barbarians or
Yeah,
are
barbarians in the north. Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's from my understanding is
Okay.
that the barbarians. Oh yeah. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Malachite.
Yeah.
Population Island has no idea. Okay, that's cool. It's good to know. All right, let me do this one because someone mentioned it. I think Antiquitous did. I had it up and then I lost it because I was surfing.
By the way, I have a theory on why the Cauldron of Night is as evil as it is, but maybe
Okay.
we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Okay. Now you got me so intrigued that you can talk
Let's do
about
it.
it for
Do it.
another
We can do it
hour.
now.
Yeah,
We can do
please.
it now,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, so the Sea Barons Island chain, part of the Sea Barons Island chain is the Sinking Isle. The Sinking Isle, which is in Greyhawk Adventures.
Really?
Mhm.
The Sinking Isle is, I think, northish, so towards Winnetha
Okay.
on the coast. I don't know if it's on Anna's map or
Yeah,
not.
Gwyneth is here.
Yep.
So it's up
But
here.
I don't think
It's up
the
here
Sinking
somewhere.
Isle is marked.
No, Sinking Isle's not here. But you're saying
So
it's
it's somewhere either north of Oak Isle or between Oak Isle and Winnetha Isle.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yep.
I'll leave it to you to place it.
Well,
Anyhow,
it's one of these that is not there, so to speak. You can't see it, so that's why I didn't place it. Yeah.
It's below the water. But anyhow,
Mhm.
they talk about the ruins of this race that was there, that they're very evil and decadent, that allegedly they were turned into the Sahagwan. So I think that whole island chain is probably uber evil from way back in the day.
Ah.
Okay.
And the Tar Hill, the Cauldron of Night, that's just all part and parcel of that culture
Okay.
that sunk under the water. And yeah, they were probably Thurisdan worshippers. They all are.
Well, it's good to know. The tip of the evil iceberg, you might
So,
say. Yeah.
Sinking Isle, Greyhawk Adventures. There's your hook for
Mhm.
investigating what's below the waves and what's maybe
I
below
did not
Tar
know
Hill.
that's way out there, the Sinking Isle.
Yeah, somewhere out there.
Well, we have this too, right? Nearby.
Mhm.
And then there's that. Yeah.
It seems to me that there's some evil cults back in the day seem to have want to flee out to islands where they were hard to pursue or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a refuge or something.
Will someone explain? I've always asked this question. Explain to me the Causeway Fiends and why is it there in the Isle of Lost Souls?
Causeway is a actual geographic
Mhm.
formation.
It's a
right, Anna?
title. It's land that is only land. It's
And now
underwater when the tide comes, so to speak, and then you can
Okay.
walk over it. It's you have that island in France with the wonderful castle that I forgot the name, but I've been there once.
Causeway.
Yeah. So you have your causeway is that. So every time when the tide is low, you can walk across it. And
How
then
long
when the
is
tide
that causeway?
well, that causeway there is like 50 miles or something
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
that.
So when you
Yeah.
say walk across it when the tide's right,
No, you have to ride
not gonna
really
make it.
fast, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah,
So you have to
yeah.
ride really fast
Mont
because the
Saint-Michel.
tides is like,
Yeah.
every 6 hours they will go up and down, so to speak. So you only have like 6 hours to traverse it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wonder if you like me
And
keep
so you have to
space
go,
on
well,
Mont
you
Saint-Michel.
might make it. If you're fast, you might make it. So
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
But you can also, someone might have enhanced it, so they might have
Ah.
put stones and stuff
Mm.
there to create a road, because it might have only been submerged by a few inches or a few feet. So you might actually be able to build something that is above water. So, but naturally, a causeway is that when it's only at certain times, so to speak, it's either submerged or
Yeah.
above. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Here, I'm going to
Was
show.
this Carl Sargent's great idea?
I don't know. I think
Causeway
it's
of
by
Fiends,
I think it's by that area, because I don't think it's mentioned
Yeah.
in the earliest books. It's one of
the
these things that
Giant's
go.
Causeway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in Ivid, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yep.
And I want to have it in that it springs from an earlier times. That was old Flan. They have burial
I don't
grounds or cultists
remember-
or something. Yeah.
I don't know my Ivid that well. I don't remember what the deal of the Isle of Lost Souls is, except that there's some Obviously, ruins are because we did the ruins episode a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
As for hooks, I would know that the barbarians who are supposed to raid those coasts, they probably avoid that island for obvious reasons. Yeah. Or maybe the ones that are stupid enough to go there, end up, meeting a bad fate, and then, your players could go find out what happened to the barbarians raiders that never came back. Something.
I think Gary nailed it. It's the last holdout of the Ulfland Tyrants of Trask.
Right.
Awesome.
Yep. Well, yeah, they were over the entire flash. So let's go to another one that we just talked about on our ruin show, but let's do it here as we come here, and then pop this up.
Ruins.
Right
there we go.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Isle chains.
There you go. The Isles of Woe and near deep. So, and that's one Antiquarius brought up. They sunk for some reason, right?
I have it that they sunk because the Nirduv is higher up, and that's one of the things. It's in the center of Nirduv between Walworth Isle and the Greyhawk Peninsula. And if you look at the latest maps, I have them as they're part of the depth, so to speak. So that was one of the thanks to Troy's eminent maps here. Yep. So I've changed the Nirduv, the depth of the Nirduv, so it's there. So
what civilization was here?
Flan. Yeah.
It was a Flan civilization. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Because when I'm interested to hear more about it. Because and this shows it underwater.
Yeah.
That shows it underwater.
Yeah, it's
no, Lord Fourth, not yet.
That prehistorical Flan gone bad.
Zunk. Yep.
Flan go bad eventually.
Yeah, Zunk was one of the poor guy that got chopped up into pieces and are still alive in pieces around the world, and he was apparently involved in the Isle of Woe.
Yummy.
Amy.
The mage priests. As Casey says, hey, Amy. All right, so I wanted to bring that one up. Thanks to Troy and his workings there on the map. You also have you have Walworth Isle, which is right there.
The most obvious isle in a way, because it's the most central location in the whole Flanese, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, and I've used it as my test bed. I probably have Walworth Isle mapped more versions than anything else because it's been my little test to go to. So when I wanted to do a test in World Machine, I've done it, but it's also been crappily mapped, so to speak. So I have a lot of bad maps of Walworth Isle. So one day soon I'll do it in that is worthy. But it's also a place that was completely uninteresting when it comes. There was no modules, nothing set there until the living Greyhawk came around. And then all of a sudden IUs decided to invade the place. And that was something that I skipped. So anyone who looked at my map realized that I never had IUs taking it over, and they had a lot of IUCians and stuff all of a sudden just appear and stuff, but I didn't know they're not that seaworthy. First they had to conquer Shieldland, so I don't know exactly how they why invade now. Sometimes you can invade an island. So I had it that there was one of the areas that the Shieldlanders actually held on to during the war, so IUs never took it. I had my version of it.
My version of it, Vane was running it, and then he sold out and left the door wide open for them to retake it rather easily.
Well, I had it that they tried, so to speak. They tried to gate in and do stuff, but then you can only gate in that much, so to speak. And before, especially in an area that is full of priests and paladins and stuff, they managed to shut that operation down fairly quickly. In my take on it.
What if Gary says it's implausible that IUs had the right forces to invade the island? What if they got across on barges?
Yeah, but then first of all, you need to have the mainland secured, and it took a long while before they got that secured. So that makes even less sense. Plus the fact that I think orcs aren't that good at going across miles of what is effectively
no, I mean
open sea.
Renee, we're helping them.
Yeah, that might
they're
be.
paid to
Yeah,
help.
that might
Yeah.
be. Yeah, that might be. Yep.
It's all the From the Ashes 80% rule.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
uses 80% From the Ashes, but it's a different 80%.
Yep.
No,
It's
seriously.
a great one. Yeah,
I never thought of that.
that's an awesome rule.
Thank you. Yeah. So
That's
my
an awesome
80 is
rule.
different than yours, and it's different than
Exactly.
Mike's.
Oh yes, yeah. So
But none of us use Philidor.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's a
But
real.
I think it's an interesting island. It's one if you want to have like an initial adventure, boring initial adventures for 0 levels or something, and you want to have a fairly safe playground. Walworth Isle might be your thing, so to speak, where you can have things like rats and the occasional slightly overlarge spider and maybe a wolf or two. They could be the main participant, and the local thugs that hide out somewhere or something like that. So no big dangers, and you can have a sandbox where you can let them go and no bad thing will happen. That might be the secret IU's agent or spy or something. You never know, or something. So I was thinking about doing it, but then I realized that I will probably leave the islands so quickly. So I chose a more spicy location than the Isle of Walworth. Yeah. But it's an interesting little place, so to speak. And Admundfort, I think, has an interesting history as being an old place that has been around for hundreds of years now, that has been used by the Airdie since early times and stuff. So there is a little bit of history and some nostalgia when it comes to the Isle of Walworth, and it's named after the Walworth County in Wisconsin,
Yes.
which is kind of cool too.
I'll never forget the first time we're driving to Gary Con, and then I see that Walworth County. I'm like, what?
Yep.
That's the way. That's cool though. Like here, I have a new town. I have Walworth Crossing here. So
yep.
added in.
Yeah. So it's one of these. So it's kind of a boring place, but it's worth mentioning because it's been there for a long time, so to speak, and always been there.
All right, Mike, you're up.
Maybe Antipolis. Wow. Yeah. The Admundfort, great place. Let's talk about a place that's. I'm going to start getting into my obscure stuff because Anna's really been pulling out a lot of obscure stuff tonight. Let's talk about a place that's not technically on Anna's map, the Pinnacles of Azeroth.
Yeah.
Oh,
we have not been over on the Gromage side yet.
Yep.
All right, Gary. The Pinnacles from Greyhawk Adventures hardback, if you got it.
And
and the resting place of the hero god Azeroth.
There you go. Yep. It's one of these magical mystical locations.
It's not on her map. It's
there,
hidden.
but but you have to go really close to see the label. So I tried to hide it. It's hiding in plain sight, Jay. So it that's good cartography. You have a hidden place in plain sight. Yes, there you go. So it works.
I like that.
It works. Yep.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's like the Pinnacles. Are they actually islands, Anna? I mean, what would you call those? They're like
I
supposed to be like really tall spires.
I don't know if it's like in the real world you have pinnacles, meaning the tallest mountain in the world is Mauna Kea in Hawaii.
Sure.
That is way higher from its base than any other mountain on Earth.
Right.
So there are real precedents to have kind of deep mountains that stick up, so they can be pinnacles, but I want to have them like almost a little bit extra dimensional or something. I don't know. So that's why I made them cryptic on the map, and I never thought about it more. So because it's one of these mysterious locations that I
always like that because it's the resting place of Azeroth and his 1,000 paladins.
Yeah.
So it's like this really ancient fantastical place where if times are hard for the old Backloonish, someone can go there and make these high level immortals rise from their sleep and go fight for the Backloonish.
Dromidja.
And there's dragons on these pinnacles and rocks and all kinds of flying creatures. It's like this, it's not a place where humans dwell. above ground.
Like
It's
what
ruled
page
by
is
the
that
flyers.
on in the Greyhawk Adventure? So you got it open?
I don't.
Okay, no problem. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
it's one of these mysterious
Yeah,
locations
it's a
in
mysterious
that book. Yeah.
location.
Once
And
again,
now we have
we wish we
Dramidia.
we-
Yeah, Gary.
we
the
wish we knew who
Dramidia is
wrote
not
what
on
in this
there.
book, but over it
Yeah.
100 times. Jim
Yeah,
Moore
we
doesn't
don't know. Yeah.
unfortunately.
So Gary just brought up my next one. Here, I'll link it for those who don't know, because I did a whole blog post on this.
Oh,
Dramidia.
Dramidia is a creation of Rose Estes, a huge island kingdom off the coast from the Backwoods lands.
yeah, that's the 20% I didn't use.
Yeah, that's the 20%. Yeah, this is an island that is.
But there
Big enough it should
will
show
be
on it.
islands in my now global version. There's plenty of islands out there that we can name, so to speak, and put there. So yeah. So I put that
cool,
off
Gary.
the whole.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunity for that. I mean, there's so many unnamed islands. Just look on the coast here. You could utilize up here on the Backwoods land. So,
yeah,
So,
right, Drummage has lots of islands.
Perfect. I put that in the list to do things here and look into. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, if you're curious about Drummage, there's the post. Read all about it, and then decide for yourself if you want to.
And it's
shoehorn a big island.
Yeah, and it's big. So, but I should make something as an homage out there in the Dromage Ocean somewhere, and then people who want to use it can include.
Isn't it right off the coast though?
Well, yeah, but it not on any of the maps that have been published in any other way. So, but we'll see. I have to look at the Demon Hand. I have the book, thankfully, so I can read it again.
It's just interesting that they gave her license to create an entire new part of the map.
Well, did they, or did she just say, well, I'm going to do this?
It's sunken. Yes, that's why we need more sunken isles.
All right. So I'm gonna do one of my own. Sorry, everyone.
Sure.
Outside of Harby, Anna put it on there. There's two of them. Only one of them's on the map. So, and it sinks. It's called Miraculous Isle. Ooh. I did a whole adventure there. It sinks underneath. It supposedly Zagig had a retreat there years ago. It was magical, and it would go up and down with the waves. As you know, there's so many shoals and there's so many shipwrecks all up and down this part of the Woolly Bay. And so I just put an island in one, and then there's another one over here called The Point, which is a defensive position for Hardby, where they have docks and stuff. I just did that one just recently via live stream. And so, but that one hasn't been added to the map yet. So, yep. And so there's the two in this area of mine. I love Hardby adventuring. So Miraculous Isle and The Point. Oh, wait a minute. So check out the lake and the island in Lake Akal while you're up north. Lake Akal.
Lake Akal. Let's yeah, there are a bunch of islands in Lake Akal. Yep. Fellreeve Forest.
Oh, Fellreeve. Okay. I'm like, what? Oh, this.
Yeah, that's Lake Akal, full of islands.
Yep. Oh yeah! Wow. Yeah, I see at least 7. Wow.
There's a bunch of islands in Lake Akal. That was one on my list of hidden small. That's a good one. Yeah.
None named.
So what is supposed to be on these islands?
There's some dragons living there, I think, or something. It's one of these things that Wind Dukes of Akal. Okay.
Why would the Wind Dukes live on islands?
I don't know. Yeah.
Surrounded by water.
Thanks, Elemental.
Heated elements.
I guess it's if you want to be hiding away somewhere, to live on an island in a lake like that is very hidden away.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the Fellreeve is an interesting place. There's a lot going on in the Fellreeve.
Yep. You can live in IU's backyard. Yeah.
Which is neat. It's that you got a lot of what's the word? Good banditry. I'm assuming a lot of Sylvan Elves, Beastmen, all sorts of things up there. Mist Dragons, Hags. Very cool. Good one, Casey. And it's one of those you just go right over if you wouldn't see. Whitestone doesn't have many doesn't have many islands.
I was just going to say it's
some over here. But
it's only on the west side, and none of them are named. So it's one of these. Yep.
That so looks like Lake. Which one is that? Superior. They all look like Great Lakes. That one looks like Great
Yeah,
Lake.
it's,
This,
I think
Superior,
that one's
Michigan.
Lake Superior. Yeah,
Yeah.
Huron. I get them all
that
confused.
might be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks just like it. And look, this one is also, if you look, that's another Great Lake, Lake Quag. You can just see it, Michigan.
That might be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you turn it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's islands up here. Schleicher's Isle.
There's a whole bunch of them.
Flinter Lord Isle.
Are these
Yeah.
the
Now
living Greyhawk
you're
Isles?
going through my list.
Ah,
here.
go for it,
Yeah.
Anna. Talk about them.
Okay,
Scratch,
so
scratch,
I will go. So let's do the Lake Quag Isles. That since we're
Sure.
up there anyway. So yeah. So we have there's a
See?
bunch. Yeah, exactly. We have the
See?
Isle of Clee up in the
Clee?
north. Yeah, and the Isle of Clee is actually. Hang on a second.
Quag Sharon. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Mirias temple is on it,
now.
and it's from it's from a Living Greyhawk adventure from and it's a Mirias temple.
Oh,
that
Mirias,
was-
yeah.
Yeah, the temple of Mirias is on there on the island of Clee that is up there.
So it's like the Isle of Wight in Britain, except there's
yeah, it might
concerts.
be. Yeah. So I know. So you can dig into it. It's the from the the Diadem of Kir Rus is the name of the adventure. So yep. And it's it has a story. It's Igvilv. I use Igvilv and Dresna and stuff involved. So it seems like a really star-filled adventure with lots of cool stuff in it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And you got come down here, and there's a couple others.
Yeah, the couple of they are less renowned. I have barely been able to find anything on them, and now I'm not really sure where the heck I did find the names. So Schleicher's Isle and Flinterford Island. Now I've done searches for it and I can't find it, and I know I haven't come up with it. Someone else came up with it, and I especially Schleicher's Isle. I'm pretty sure that I didn't come up with something that German sounding.
So Uncle Fuzz says Quag is an unnamed isle shrouded in mists as the home of mist dragons.
A lot of mist dragons and
Huh.
Cool. There are a lot of. They
What's
seem
it
to like
roughly?
islands,
Where is it unnamed, Fuzz? That would be interesting because you never know. Tell us where, and Anna can do her research. And from the ashes. It's in From the Ashes. There you go.
Okay.
It must be in the
It's part of the
mysterious
20%.
site section.
No location given. All right. Well, that's
awesome.
That's interesting.
you.
It's something that can be added
Not
in.
yet.
Very cool.
Thank you.
That is neat. Let's free form this one. Where do we go next?
I had a bunch of isles that I think are interesting because they are from the Ghost of Saltmarsh and in that area, because that isn't just like the Sea Princes and the Jetsam Islands, but along the coast near Saltmarsh, there's a bunch of islands.
Abbey.
Yeah, Abbey Isle is one that is listed in the adventure, the Saltmarsh, and then there's Angler Island. That is, I think, from Living Greyhawk earlier, and then we have Red Shore Island along the coast there too. That I'm not really sure when that popped in, but Red Shore came, and I think that was the same era as Seaton. So it was, I think it's Living Greyhawk, or maybe it was Greyhawk Reborn, or sorry, yeah. I'm not. It was in that era. I put it in there, so it's. It has a bunch of little islands, and there's more islands along because the river kind of. So there's a lot of islands in the delta, the Javan Delta, that are not named, so to speak. So they are like the Scragholm Isle in a way. They are big and only partial islands, so to speak. But I think Abbey Isle is interesting because I think there is an abbey on there that I forgot to put in. But it's also so. There's so many things that I had to remove a few things because I had to declutter the map. So at this scale, I couldn't fit everything in. So there's way more that could go in there that simply, So there's a bunch of local little things that didn't make it in there because it's not room for it.
By the way, in 2 weeks, Gavin, the last Wall of Fame deep dive will be Tomocon, Ghost Tower Riverness, and then Saltmarsh series. they'll be the last. So we'll get to that.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a Firewatch Island. We talked about that, Casey. I think you missed that.
Yep.
Where that
Yeah,
is.
that was one of the tiniest ones that I talked about early
That was one
on.
of the first ones we talked about there. So very cool. That's a good one. All right, so let's go. Gary and Alex had all mentioned this. Let's get to the Almonds.
Yes, they're an obvious chain of islands that we need to talk about. So yeah, there you go. There are 3 big ones and then a bunch of smaller ones. So there's 2. It's 2 obvious ones, and then I think Lof Bosok kind of belongs to the Almond Isles too. I think.
I guess so.
Yeah. I don't know if you only count
reference.
the South and the North Almond Isles, or if you include the Lof Bosok and the Lof Tiri and the other lofts up there too. I'm not really sure if that's one of the
Okay.
But it's one of these interesting things that I also have it that if the water is fairly shallow around it, so when the last ice age, there was a land bridge between, there was only like a small strait in between, and that was basically like a river delta. So the Azure Sea was a giant bay, so to speak, with brackish water, and that wasn't. And then you could almost walk if you took a canoe across the main river, which was a gigantic river, but it was like going across the Amazon or something. So there was like a 10-mile wide river or something in between, or a strait. But so then that was when that area was much more land than it is today.
Oh, Mike, you're in a campaign, the Almonds?
Yeah, that's Rich Longitalis' campaign.
Yeah, there's several, and
cool.
we have there's been several cool campaigns that people have run in this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yep.
So, all right, we have kind of bounced around, but let's we did it's been over a year entire show. Let me just I'm going to throw this up.
Yes, I am still sleeping on a straw mattress, Gary. Yes, my character is living the humble life. But real quickly on Lof Bosok.
Yeah, go for it.
That's a great place. That's not that developed in the Scarlet Brotherhood. It's a island. It's a huge island run by the Scarlet Brotherhood where they do their experiments on monsters.
Excuse me.
So if you think about it, just take any creature from the monster manual and you want to put a twist on it, you can say it was created here.
Oh, wow.
Bosok.
Yep.
And the other neat thing that I just read about today on this is that the wizards who run their experiments on here, they don't actually stay on the island. They're too afraid, to go near their monsters. They watch their experiments from offshore in these dome-like buildings that are half submerged. Take note, Troy. So you got these like half underwater breeding laboratories of wizards. It's got possibilities there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one settlement mentioned, and that's the town of Zuka, which I guess is the town where they insert and exert things and kind of keep an eye on things.
Yeah. It's definitely Dr. Moreau
type.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. It could also be Monster Island. It could be an island full of dinosaurs.
Yeah, you can have all sorts of cool stuff. Yep. And talking about Island of Dinosaur, I think we have to go to the obvious one that you held up the dossier
it's on the map here.
Yep.
But we go to this one. So we go. So I'm just going to reopen. I'm going to reopen this. Excuse me. Sorry for coughing in your ears, everyone. Greyhawk Guide to the Isle of Dread. Look at that. March 2021. Where'd all the time go? So, I got a little tickle cough here. This is going to give you history of the Isle of Dread adventure. Here, talk about that and the map, the original, some original maps in the basic set. I'm sorry, it's an expert adventure, X1. So, Beckme D&D rule set. This came out in 1981, if I recall correctly. So I need a link to that. I don't.
Yeah, Gary just put that in chat.
Yeah, Gary just linked it for
Mhm.
everyone up top. Okay, so everyone who's on, you can get that. There it is in PDF. You can be able to download this. Okay, I am lucky enough to have a nice print copy. So, all right, very cool. Yep. And there are the original cover ones, and you got a newer cover one. Yeah.
Oh wow!
You got 4. Nice.
That is an awesome suite.
I don't know where I get these things.
Module lay dormant for over 2 decades until September 2004, where Dungeon Magazine, former Greg Vaughan's Torrents of Dread adventure. So Greg Vaughn, there we go. We have that name coming up, and here's the here it is. The Isle of Dread poster map is inside here too. Was inside this dungeon, and then here is Mike's map, right?
Oh my, yeah, that's
Mike's
my
map, which we showed.
my favorite map. I got it on the wall.
It's the best map of that area. I've used it extensively as a base for mine.
Yeah, and this shows you here's Scuttle Cove, and the distance is how far away it is to anything else. It is way out there. And you have Far Shore here too, south on
Yep.
Far
Shore here on the Isle of Dread as well at the bottom. So it is a haul.
Thanks, Jim. It's low tech for me. It's just a line drawing.
Explain who Sandushar the Navigator is.
Let's see. That's a Q-ish explorer, right?
Yeah, it came from Gratzel, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It's almost he did a Magellan-like voyage, running the entire length all the way down on the land, south, up through, all the way around the Isle of Dread. Up.
Did he go around in the south and back up again, or did he?
No,
was
he
it
did.
2 separate journeys?
No, it's one.
I think he went across. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, all around.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of
What's
those
up,
Q. I think he's the one of those Q land kings who, Caitlin had already conquered everything around it, so he had the free time to go exploring.
Yep. According to Gary, he's the first to discover it, the Isle of Dread.
There you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and there's the maps. Like I said, this is available for everyone to download.
Yes.
All right. That's why it's good. It's good to revisit stuff that we talked about well over a year ago, almost a year and a half ago on a previous Legends and Lore, because we have so many new people in the community since then. And there you go. So here's the Flyers history, finding the Isle of Dread and, all the route. He even rescued a Podla Katha who were about to be overrun by army Zigzactyl. That's cool. The final voyage to the Isle was led by Malv III, an intrepid Kiwish king. So the Kiwish are really explorers, hardcore. That's a long distance. And you got the human culture was once dominated Densek Gulf, and the southern verges is known only as the Ullmen. So the Ullmen were all throughout. Yep. In Ullmen culture, lycanthropy is not considered a curse. I did not know that. Yep. So you got some cool stuff here. And let me see if I can shrink this. And then you got the Kopru. It was the Kopru Kingdom. Yep. So, hey, coolness. Thank you. Very cool stuff. One of the expert kings. Yeah. So this is goes through the Dalrin exclusion zone. There you go. That's that hidden isle there. Did Troy do this map too?
Looks like.
Did Troy do this one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Scuttle Cove, which should be right about in this area here. So look at all the islands out here. You got
so many islands.
There's so many islands that you can.
The Mist Kingdom is where you got War Mist dragons.
Yeah, that's here, right? These, I think those. It's one of those. It's this chain, I think. Here's Mist.
Yeah, it's kind of near the coast, the Medio coast.
So really cool.
The geography.
You got stuff that's underwater too, showing areas. It's a neat thing. I'm assuming Troy's going to expand on this in his publication. And then here's a nicely done map. I have that one, I think, in better. Here we go. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have that around here somewhere.
Yep.
It's a good map.
It's a good map of the Isle of Dread showing all the areas. But
Work of
I
art.
don't think Farshore is Farshore on this one. Yeah, it is. Here's Farshore. It's right in
Yep.
the middle. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, it almost looks like it's in Krakatoa. It's almost like the
Yeah.
caldera of
Mhm.
Krakatoa, where you know, it's starting to come back after an explosion. Ooh, neat. Blister Hill Isle. There's a lot. Look, there's a lot of named islands down here,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
you get the. So it's been expanded upon beyond the original X1 adventure. But I'm assuming a lot of these markers are from the original X1. So, and to think this was just absconded from Mystara and stolen. So take that.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
Greyhawk steal things at times too. So yeah.
The red Lysanthus. Yep. That's neat. Flying plant unique to the Isle of Dread and some of its surroundings is red Lysanthus. Main ingredient for potion longevity. Nice. Cool. Have you had discussion about how
know the Isle of Dread's origin?
Have we talked about that? We may have in the check. I'm sorry, it's been so long. Doc, you want to check the Legends and Lore 92 on my YouTube mirror. So, and then you got a brief timeline here of the Isle of Dread going back. You know, about almost 2,000 years. It's close. Of all the things that are going on in the area, which is awesome. You know, you get into the common years, so you're only in the normal common years here. So there's a lot of history going back almost, you know.
As the adventure path goes in Savage Tide, the players end up traveling from Sasserine to Farshore with some colonists or something. And when they get to Farshore, if I remember right, the Crimson Fleet's going to be attacking.
Yeah, it's part of Savage Tide, right?
Yeah, and you got to use the time before they get there to build up your defenses for Farshore.
Yep. So, that's it's basically just Farshore is like Gilligan's Island with about 10 times the it doesn't have that many population, right? Population's in a couple hundreds.
It's a colony. It's growing. It's still in the works.
Yeah. So, and it gives you some history here of previous history for this coconut bras. Yeah. Because I know Dungeon Meister about 2 years ago just finished his Savage Tide campaign in Farshore and the Red Fleet invasion. He has pictures in that on his DeviantArt, which is pretty neat. Legends of Lore 92. Thank you there, Alex, for linking that.
Nice.
So yeah, and here's a synopsis of the Savage Tide adventure path, which links in everything here, which is really neat. All the adventures and who did them all. Look, Eric Boyd actually got in on this one. Eric should be on Sunday night. He's trying to get on too. And Greg Vaughn did the last one. So very cool. Yep.
Second time.
So feel free. It's good that this is out there now. Everyone, feel free to download it. Links there.
Awesome.
Yep. Very, very cool. And we have the number one absconded island of all the Greyhawk, I guess, would be that one. More than any other one, it's got. And that's a good question. Was where did and I don't remember if it was addressed in the original Isle of Dread discussion where the original Isle of Dread was placed. I think it was a Mystara adventure period, right? It's Zeb Cook, right? Is it Zeb who did Isle of Dread?
I'm not sure.
I'm
you have Mike. You have all the adventures.
Go back and look.
I'm almost positive.
Cook and Mulvey.
Cook and Mulvey. Okay. That's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Eric Mona sanctioned it. There you go. Just like he sanctioned. Just like Eric sanctioned the bald Morning Canaan. 1 for 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. So, very cool. All right. Do we have any other islands we haven't hit? And you can see here's the Mist Isle. It looks Isles there.
Yes.
We can when we mention the Isle of Dread, we just have to mention the Isle of Ruha or Ruya, or
That's
however you pronounce
on
it.
your way there. Yeah.
Yeah, on your
Yeah.
way, because it's one of these islands that I think have been kind of misplaced with both the big pirate isle and the Isle of Ruya have been misplaced with the Isle of Dread and stuff. So there was a little bit of ambiguity on the placement. So I kind of spread them out a little bit and tweak them together, so to speak. So just to
It's
mention
a bigger
it a bit.
island out there, though.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
And it's a stop in the Savage Tide Adventure Path. It's
Yep.
one of the stops.
Yep.
So there's something on there.
That's where it was given a name, so to speak.
Yeah.
Before it just appeared on some maps and stuff. So but I think it's one of these islands that have been a little bit confusing, like the Lendor and the Spindrift over the years, so to speak. It's been a little speck that has been moved up and down and and stuff, and then the Isle of Dread was shoehorned into the setting and stuff. So yeah.
All right, so Gary's arguing with you, Anna. Gary says Monoland is an island, not a continent.
Okay, there you go. It's the argument you can have in the and in some ways, yes. I must agree, because it doesn't have its own shelf, so to speak. So it's actually connected to because it doesn't have its own continental shelf.
Yeah.
The continental shelf is integrated with the Flannies.
So
I would agree that it is in that sense an island, but you have to have, if you've been on planet Earth, it would be too big to be an island, because it's way bigger than Greenland. So it's almost the size of Australia. So and Australia is not considered an island. And Australia doesn't have its own continental shelf either. It actually shares it with New Guinea and a whole bunch of other islands. So it's the main island in its own continent. And in some geography books, it's all called Oceania. The continent is called Oceania, and then Australia is just the biggest island. But that's in some books and stuff. In other literature, Australia, it's its own continent by itself. So there's no firm definitions.
I just saw something where New Zealand is actually its own shelf.
Yeah,
and it's only 1/10 or 20th of the entire landmass, which is submerged.
Yep. So that's the other a new continent, so to speak. And the more because these definitions are a few hundred years old and they are a little bit fluid. And that means that the more we get to know about geology, the more we can figure out that things aren't what we always assumed they were back in the day. So, yeah. And there you have Monkey Island.
Valmoku mentioned Monkey Island, and I'm like, there was a computer game, Curse of Monkey Island. I don't know anything about this.
But it's mentioned there. So Stormwater, Monkey Island. So it's supposed to be some adventure set there.
It's got to be a Nairon adventure, isn't it? Valmoku, tell us what it is.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I've read it, but now I forgot about it. So it's one of these things that didn't interest me that much, unfortunately. So yeah.
Yep, there you go. Valmoku says yes.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah. At least it doesn't say Applebee's Island or something like that.
Isle of the Monkey.
It's cousin to Ape Isle. Okay. Yep.
Well, that's Patrick being joking.
Yeah.
All right. What about this near Firewatch?
Yeah,
what is this?
That is an island that kind of got introduced in some maps as a sand reef or whatever. So I kind of built upon it a bit. Yeah, it's kind of large, and I thought it was kind of cool because we don't have that many islands and stuff. So it's one of these things that there's a hilly at the bottom and there's a little bit of mountains and a spine to it, so to speak. But otherwise, it's a big sandbank that surrounds a little bit of a hilly area, so to speak. And then you have some other tiny ones further up north, but the whole bay there is very shallow, so there's not much coming up.
The Jersey Shore doesn't look like that continuous. Their barrier islands they're all broken up. They're not anywhere near like that one big one.
Yeah. But they are
wide.
But they are. You go to the Baltic, the coast on in the South Baltic, especially around the Russian enclave, Kaliningrad. You have some really good examples of these long stretched islands like that. And in Holland too, on the Dutch coast and the German west coast, there's also some really long islands like that. Some of them are now being split up in modern times because they want to have shipment going through, so they have actually excavated some of them. But Before then, they
Whoops.
were actually longer, so to speak, and stuff. But we have our own channel islands in the Greyhawk. Who knew that? We had in the
Where are they?
finals, we have channel islands near divers. There is the group
Oh,
of
yeah,
channel
yeah.
islands where we have the Great Crown Island, the Leviathan Rock, Westgate,
good
and
one.
Eastgate. Those are the channel islands, and they're often an overlooked little group of islands.
Yeah, so.
Yep, that are actually there. And they are, yeah, so it's one of the most kind of overlooked maps or islands that hardly anyone
It also
remembers.
makes navigating to divers not that easy.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Shrockham.
Yeah, it's one of these places. I think it is from the slavers, I think, but it could be
Shrockham?
it's one of these places. It's mentioned in some little obscure little
I know
location.
this is
Yeah.
from the Slavers. The Slavers Cove up here.
Yeah, but it's well, maybe I might be mistaken.
It
where
could
comes
be.
from.
It could be.
Uncle Fuss gives me the right. So
Yeah,
yep, that
cool,
was
man.
from the top of my head. But sometimes
Awesome.
I'm
I don't
right,
remember
so,
the name of that place, but
Yeah.
very cool.
because I think it was a map of them from
Very
in that.
obscure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Shrockham slavers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that was one of these the kind of obscure islands that no one's remembers. Yep.
so it falls under realms of divers, which is interesting. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They're part of the
Again,
realms of
place
divers.
that there's a lot of Rennie, I bet.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yep.
Always.
And then we have one island that I have developed to some degree.
All right.
That I don't think is on your island, on your map, but go to the Shieldland coast because I don't think it's up. It's probably.
Yeah,
Oh yes, it's there. It's there.
This
It's
one?
there. Yep. Go a little bit west. Yeah, there's one little island up there. I call that Birgot, and it's a little that one. That
Is
one.
this
Yeah,
an
I
Anna
call that.
creation?
Yeah, it's one of these things that was just created by the fractals in Bryce.
Nice,
So it just
nice.
popped in there. So it's a main island, and I called it the Hunold Island. And it's one of these places where the Rennie use as a religious ground and a burial ground. So they have rites and stuff. So they burn their deads and others on that island and do some stuff. And that's why it's shunned by a lot of others, because it's kind of ghosts and stuff there. And I think the Rennie, they perpetrate that myth in order to, or maybe it's not a myth. It's up to you guys. So in my campaign, they're actually using it. It's about a 5 square mile island. So it's a couple of miles by a couple of miles. And it has a hill that is a few hundred feet, like 500-600 feet tall, and a couple of little lakes and little forests. So it's a real place, so to speak, meaning you could actually live there. And also the Near Dove is fairly fresh water, so it's kind of, you not thirst and stuff. So it's probably lots of fish around and stuff too. But it's one of these places that where you can, if you want a Rennie to have a place somewhere, then you can give them that little place. And that's where I have that. Rennie didn't have, they've gone there secretly for years. But I have it also that it's a myth they've been spreading in order to keep people away. Also as well. So there we don't know how much truth there actually is to it. But I guess also the Shieldlanders were probably not that keen on it. They have enough coastline and lands there anyway, so they kind of gave it up to but in this northern part of the Near Dove, there's several of these kind of little reefs and tiny little specks that sticks
There's a real
up.
small one right here.
Exactly. There's that's I call that one the Birgot, and it's a tiny one. It's like a square mile and a half or something like that.
We already did that joke, Barry.
So that's one of the Fantasy Island. I don't know. Yep.
Yeah, it's boss the plane.
Yep.
Did we? No, we did not talk about this island off Rel Astra.
Exactly. That's what's one of the ones I wanted to talk about, because that's
why
another
is there
one
an
that
island off of Rel Astra?
yeah, that's another one that an artifact of my fractals, and I did.
Oh, the fractal did that.
Yes, yeah. So there's one, and I thought first I was like, oh, I need to delete it, but then I was like, no, I kept it. So I kept it, and it hasn't given a name for it, but it's
fairly
cool.
large.
Yeah, it is large, meaning it's like 50 square miles or so.
What's amazing is these maps. Rel Astra's here, and there's nothing
Exactly. That's an
Nothing.
area that is rife for development.
Yeah.
Yes, it needs to have lots of cool places and stuff. Meaning you have the former capital of the Great Kingdom, that is a big city with tens of thousands of inhabitants. It needs to have stuff around, so to speak. So that coastline and the inland there needs development badly.
What about these? The Isle of Serpents and Lies?
Yeah, the Isle of Serpents is one of these nasty places. Yeah, it's one of these nasty places where
Gary talks about Helm Rock being a place to send people for punishment. I think the Isle of Serpents is where you punish someone.
Yeah, but I like the idea that seem buckeresque. Have that, maybe it's Drax's private little retreat, so to speak, that he has. It's his private island or something. Like the Pope has an island outside Venice, and maybe Lord Drax is the Lord Drax estate or Drax Island or something like that. And he basically has that as his refuge, and no one else is allowed the shore unless permitted by him or something.
You got to ruin something here. Vernport.
Yeah, Least Isle is one of these other things that is mentioned a little bit, and
Vernport's not ruined, is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's in gray.
It was ruined here, so for some reason I made it ruined. So now I need to. I haven't studied Vernport in forever, so let me do and see where we can find it.
Also, Doc Shoulder has a good question. Are there any islands on Darlene map that Anna doesn't have on her map? My guess is maybe, but I guess not.
That might be, yeah. But I've tried my best to put in, but I think the last one was the one Mike helped me find, so to speak, in Pirate Isles. That was probably the last one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because on the Darlene map, you basically don't have any islands that are smaller than 30 miles.
Cool.
And on my map, you have basically like 1 square mile or a little bit less as the smallest one. So the coastlines and stuff is very devoid of islands on the Darlene map. They're basically very little in the form of islands on her map.
Excuse me.
Let's see here. The Brotherhood attacks caused them to lose control of the seaport of Vernport of Least Isle. So apparently the Brotherhood, Scarlet Brotherhood, is involved.
So that's real late in the game, man.
Yeah, pretty far up.
Yeah, it's from the yep.
Are there any other islands of note?
And then even the Undying, is Vernport is mentioned too.
Okay.
So let me see what it says.
Island rivers.
We had a couple we discussed earlier. Like in Sturridge, right? That one's kind of an island river.
Least Isle fell to pirates and buccaneers at the end of Greyhawk Wars. Most of these men were fleeing the eastern coastal cities of Erdi, but they brought enough mercenaries and sea power to sack Vernport. So apparently got sacked and burned to the ground in the Greyhawk Wars, according to the Ibid the Undying. Yep.
Nice.
Everything got destroyed in Ibid the Undying.
Well, even more got destroyed after. Whatever was left over was destroyed in the Living
Greyhawk.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Nice.
All right, so let's see. The questions were any other river islands? Are there any islands on the Artansame River?
That is a good question. Let's look at the Artansame.
Are they?
Yeah. Artansame, yes, there is an island. There is an island near Radagast City that has the town of Muddick on it.
Oh.
The island doesn't have a name, but the town has a name, and I think the town is actually on some sort of island. So we can call the island Muddick then, or as the town. So there is So there is the and the Muddick is or Muddish. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's spelled that way, and it's from the Gord books.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Gord books. He travels through Radagast City, and that town is mentioned in a sentence somewhere when he's doing his stuff. That's where I got it from.
Nice. Wow.
Let's see. Let's follow that one up because it's one of the biggest. So that might be islands in there that I forgot about, because sometimes rivers just split, but no, not that one. Let's go with the
Rim.
biggest.
Perim.
Yeah, biggest rivers. You have down in Nessermouth, there's a bunch of islands in the Nesser Delta at the end nearby Nessermouth, but none of them are named. But there will be like it's like Scragholm Isle, basically. It's one of these flat riverbed delta islands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like deltas creates islands. That's like in New Orleans or in the Nile Delta and the Amazon Delta and stuff like that. They create a lot of big.
Uncle Fuzz, the Styes is an island in the mouth of a river in the city of Primp.
Oh, okay.
Where's that?
To the right.
Primp. Let's go here. Primp. Yeah, but that is. Hang on a second.
I see it.
Yeah, but the problem with Primp is that it doesn't have any major. It has a minor, tiny river, so then it's so small that it will only pop up on a city map. So, yeah.
Yep. Excellent. So there's this.
Yep.
Whoops. There's this one island way up here. I mean, this one up here.
Yeah, it doesn't have a name.
Right.
It's an unnamed island, and I've asked for a name, and no one.
Got you covered, Anna.
Yep.
I just did a post to a blog post from 2 years ago
Mm-hmm.
where I use that in my campaigns. The Dark Isle of Iceland.
Oh, okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And that is, you just linked
I
that.
even
That's
did a
from
map of it.
2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you even have. Wow, you even have a map of it. You do.
Oh,
So there
cool.
you go.
Awesome. That is great.
Yeah.
Isalund. That is awesome. Thank you. Yep. Now I know. Now we know what to map
And
it.
Carlos has an adventure not far from here, Jotsplat, and right, he's got a coal-based adventure right here in Jotsplat.
That is perfect.
It's not Fireland. No,
Isalund,
Fireland's nowhere near there.
This island is probably hard to access because of the icy sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, but it's in this. It's on the warm ocean side. So in the summer it kind of opens up, and in the winter it freezes over.
It's
so,
probably filled with seals and.
Yeah, it's the western edge of the icy sea that freezes over because you have that jot so far north that it stops the water from flowing east and west, so to speak. So it kind of it cools it off. But the on the eastern side you have enough movement, so to speak, in the water that keeps it open. So Vatun Summer Cottage. That's awesome.
Yeah, I see that. I forgot to change my title tonight. There's my big mess. I know I forgot something. That's all right. Too late now. So, all right, and got some over here too. We got a little.
There's several hundreds of these small little islands that popped up in
all throughout the barbarian lands and all.
Yep.
Rotik's got a bunch.
A whole
down
bunch
here
of them around
well.
Marner. Yep.
Marner, yeah.
And there's a bunch of them. There's from along the east coast down there. There's a whole bunch of them near Vinetha. There's one, and there's a couple in the Bay of Gates. There's a couple of them in there.
Yeah, here's another one.
And so on.
Lots of unnamed ones for anyone to utilize.
Yeah, and that was simply because my fractals just created. Bryce just created these little islands, and I thought it was kind of cool. So yeah. So I have to name one the Fractal Isle or somewhere for some reason, some obscure one somewhere. And then we have another named one, and that is go west of the vast swamp down there. So you're almost there. Go south. There you go, and zoom in. There is a set of islands on the west coast there that hasn't got a name, but they appear on some maps.
They look volcanic.
Yeah. So there is like these mountains. It must be a tectonic activity or something that squeezes it together and creates that kind of weird geography down there. So yeah.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the Hawaiian Islands, except turned north to south, not east to west.
But these are probably like submerged mountains that only the peaks stick up, so to speak. So there's probably of that nature.
Let's call it Grindelwolf Isle.
Yeah, something. Yep. But that is the and then we have two small islands in the Tilva Strait.
Yeah.
The Shulof and the Volok. Go east. Tilva Strait on the east there.
Tilva Strait.
Yep.
Oh.
There's two islands, big ones. and then I added a couple of small ones. But the Shulov and Volok are the two islands that belong
Part
to the
of the-
Scarlet Brotherhood there. So yeah.
Yeah, right. That's in the Scarlet Brotherhood book.
Yeah.
I guess it
Yeah.
would be part of the Lordship of the Isles chain, but just not ruled by them.
Exactly. They
And
they're
it's
close
it
enough.
would not be on the Darlene map. It's on the Scarlet
Right.
Brotherhood map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on the Scarlet Brotherhood map. The Darlene map, I have it open here, so let's double check to make sure. Yep, one of them, the big one is there. Shulov is on the Darlene map. Volok is not.
Cool.
Yep.
Yep.
Volok is too small to be on the Darlene map, so only Shulov is big enough.
Lots of
to be
cool.
that. Mm-hmm.
You know, more islands than you would ever imagine.
Oh
you know,
yeah,
Unreal.
there's
Unreal.
how many are in this area. When you look at it, it's like, wow, there's a lot of landmass in comparison to water, but there's still, it's good. There's tons of adventuring, tons of places you can utilize your own, make it your own, and just plenty of little islands to put some, or make your own up, like I've done.
Yeah. And we haven't even mentioned
the
a couple of we need to mention is the Atafads and the Bourees Island up in the Drummage.
Archipelagos.
Yeah, and the Jana Sip Island. So there's like 3 big archipelagos of so
Have
these
they ever
there you
been
have
utilized?
the Atafad. And there's some living Greyhawk adventures I think set in the Atafads, if I remember correctly. Yeah, at least on the if you zoom in on the southern end of the Atafad, you have an island called the Murenshi Island. That is kind of all part of that group or not, but it's part of Ekbir. But I think there are adventures set there, if I remember correctly, because it has a whole bunch of locations on it, and usually there are no locations unless there's modules set there. So Murenshi Island, I think, is part of Living Greyhawk, and there's a couple of other named islands. Otherwise, they're just the Atafads are just a bunch of islands that we barely know.
Pirate
hardly
islands,
anything.
largely, I would guess, right?
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
Are there
and
any?
then we have the.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, keep going, Anna. Keep going.
Yeah, then we have a Bourees Island that further west, and we know even less of them. Or then there is a place called Arcera that is a town or capital of them, so to speak. And then we have
land.
sorry.
So it's an organized.
Yeah, I think it's
land.
it's an organized state of some sort.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we have the Jana Sip Islands. The same thing with them. And they were the ones that were cut off. So I have actually the western half of the Jana Sip is probably not on your map, Jay, because that's on the latest version. So I've added, they are just on the very western edge of your map there. And it's a group of 3 big islands and a bunch of small ones. So yeah.
Living Greyhawk also slid the Atafads to the east about 200 miles from 83 box. Interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, yeah, those islands have moved around multiple times over the because the hang on a second. Now I need to
Why
we need
would they
to look.
do that?
Yeah, first of all, they're not on the Darlene map,
No.
but then they were on that little glossography map. There are a bunch of dots there that are not on the exactly. There are dots on there. So, and then they moved on several of the other maps. They moved around. So it's one of these.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have moved way.
Yeah, they moved around multiple. So in what I think is that originally I think there was only one set of islands, and then they were moved around. So someone thought they were 2, and then they were given names, and now we have 2 island chains that originally was probably only 1.
That first chain should be Drummidja.
Okay, yeah.
That's where you got room for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
So I think it's one of these things that various errors over time have led to that we now have 2 sets of islands rather than 1.
Yeah.
Well, and also Alex Antiquitous asked, are there any islands under our ground lake? So I know there's one in the U series maps. And the underground.
Yes.
There was one
I'm sure
island.
That
there was one island
plenty.
in the sea. On the sea.
Yep.
Yep. So, we went over a lot of stuff. And note that we may have missed a little bit here and there, but I think we got a great coverage.
Barely.
islands.
that was
You know,
pretty close.
yes, Troy. We did Sinking Isle. We did it.
Yeah, we talked about it
Yep,
early on.
yep.
Yes,
Yep.
we did. I know you were off, and
Sorry,
sorry
bud.
about that.
Yep.
That's all right. No problem. So, what's that one? What's that one,
Rick
Dewey Carthan?
has one.
Okay.
Oh, you said Tilagos. That's near Walworth, right? Is it on the map?
No, Tilagost. I don't know about that one. That's a new one. I'm going to still take that
The
now.
island itself is located about 20 miles from the northern shore of the Lake of Unknown Depths and approximately 100 miles from the west of Alhaster.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
interesting.
someone over here.
I'm taking that one and making a note right
Unmapped
away.
Dungeon 132. No, yes, we did. Do you know?
Show yourself out, Josh.
Josh, you know where that is? It's up your butt. Just kidding. Having fun here. Having a blast. Yes, the vampire can never get away from it. We've got. We didn't even talk about the dinosaurs on the Isle of Dread.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So it's in Dungeon 130. What Dungeon 132 article is it?
Dungeon 30.
What adventure is that? Rick, in Dungeon 132. I'm assuming it's an adventure that it's in. So
cool.
Yep,
Okay.
and that's somewhere in this area here. Yeah.
Awesome. Yep.
Yep. Very, very cool. Good add-on. No. Library of Last Resort. All right. Awesome. So we went over a lot tonight, starting off this week, and we got through almost to the 2 hours. Even though we were scraping the bottom of the barrel, but we've
yeah, there was a lot of things to be.
Yeah, a lot of cool things
we
discussed on this one, which is really neat, and it's appreciated. We had a massive level 5 hype train, so I doubled the giveaway. So we have 2 sets of giveaways tonight. 2 from the pile. 2 choices of that, and we'll do that in a second. A little bit. Well, thank you. And then we'll talk about what's going on. And please, we're going to raid into Trollord tonight. And if any of you who won say, where's my code, Chuck, just to bust his stones because he's DMing now. So there you go. Yeah, so we'll do that. You'll get it. Trust me. There was a ton of gift subs given away tonight. Maybe you weren't on at that point, but it was at least 25 gift subs done tonight, which is really awesome from the community. So I really, really appreciate it. So here we go. Great discussion. I really appreciate it. I want to talk real quick, if you don't mind. I'll just go about Virtual Greyhawk Con again, and just note where we are. I always do this, and I want to call out those who deserve some love here.
Okay.
All right. Let me just go on and get onto this real quick, and we'll go to Virtual Greyhawk Con, and then we'll show you. We are getting, so the Virtual Greyhawk Con preview, and please link it, Mirias. There was a great discussion myself, Les, and Amy did on Greycast, which is live now. Please feel free to link that, Mirias, to discuss, yes. But I want to go here. I want to show we are really getting in. Well, that's all right, Adam. It's not a problem. Always appreciate the support. I want to show you. I think we're down to 23 events that have signups. I'm not talking about seminars. I'm talking about actual games. But yes, exactly, Casey. Here's the ones I want to highlight that need sign up love. All right, if you're 2 or less, I'm not worried because we're getting there. So Chantel's game has 2 people signed up. There's still 4 open seats. The King's Castle. Okay. Here, Casey's table, BK Tourney 2, table 1 is only 1 sign up still. BK Tourney 2, 1 sign up. We gotta get Casey some love here. This one, Orcs Near Harby, Lee Hawk, has no sign ups at all. Saturday, October 1st at 2 p.m. All right, and it's Lee's first time putting a DMing game in, so maybe consider giving Lee a chance there. And if you have the open time slot, hop in on that one. There's no signups for that at all. All right. The old depths, which came in late, which is in 3.5, and it's in the Great Kingdom, and fifth edition has only one sign up between the two of them. And here I'll go to the 5e one here. June Solar, brand new to the community. Yeah, and this is about Ponteliver. The armies of it is destroying it. Now its harbor's finally been restored. Sounds like a really cool adventure idea, and it was a Living Greyhawk adventure. So that's a cool one for that. Okay, I hate that. I gotta always go back and forth here with the numbers. Remember, we got a month to go here, and then both of Indicarus's Zeef adventures has only one sign up. I think it's Jim Seguia's with both Piety and excuse me, where's the other one? Zeef. Did I go by it already? My gosh, I can't find it. I thought it was down here. So both of us have 5 of 6. Am I playing in any games, Mattias? It's tough, man, for all the coordinating, because I'm in a seminar on Saturday. I run Tim's game Saturday morning. I DM mine Saturday night. I produce Anna's on Thursday. It's tough for me to play. So Piety and Family, yes, are the two. Absolutely. Piety and Family are the two for him. Here it is, Family. One sign up on each. So we are way ahead of this time last year. And I want to say thank you for all the great signups. It's been great. There are so many events that are sold out. There's still a couple events that need a little love. Half dozen, but they really could use some love. And if you're able to hop in on any of them, that would be great. Or if you haven't signed up yet, there's plenty of great games still. There's still Greyhawk Reborn games to get in on. Multiple BK Tourney games to get in on, and some other neat stuff. So give it a shot if you haven't. Okay, just wanted to talk about that and say thank you. It's going to be a really great con. Note some highlights Saturday night. And I'll get with those in the Grand Joust. You will have a shot at unhorsing Luke Gygax's character Smelf, the son of Melf Eliador. Alyssa Faden is going to be in there. Mike Dizzy's going to be playing Zervargrin the Unmerciful. If you fight him, though, it's bad, and I'll save that. Or Von Malku's character, the reigning champion Matthew Barnabas. And if you fight him, that's bad too. So we'll talk about that as it's a surprise, but yeah, they're going to both be there. And then for the finale, Ask the Experts. Eric Mona's confirmed. Eric Boyd, Joe Block, Malden, and who am I missing? I'm missing someone big. Alan Crowley. We're all confirmed for the Ask the Experts. So, all right. No problem, Mystery, but there'll be some games there. Just wanted to reach out to everyone and say thank you. It's been fantastic so far. And there's plenty of stuff still, and there's plenty of openings, and let's get some of those games filled that have not been filled yet. So, all right. Community is doing a wonderful, wonderful job this year. All right. So, Mike, what's up?
Well, I'm about to start a couple new campaigns, and neither of them have much to do with Greyhawk, surprisingly. One of them starting a Spelljammer campaign for the first time. We'll see how that goes. 5e, of course, Spelljammer. And then I also will be starting a Mystara campaign one of these weekends, so we'll see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to both of them because I'm using a lot of material that I've never played with before. Full
Awesome.
nostalgia mode. Other than that, got a new post over on Greyhawkery. It's another Sea Princes NPC.
Nice.
So
John Ellis.
there's that. But that's about all I got going on.
That's cool. Mike won't be here next week. Remember that. It's every other for
Right.
Mike now, and we'll show you what we got going on with Casey coming in for next week, which is awesome. Mike, thanks for this one. This was good. We really touched a lot, dotted the I's and crossed the T's on this one, which I really appreciate. Anna, what is up?
Well, I've spent the last couple of days really updating my website. So there's a bunch of stuff, the stuff that has only been easy access to my page. It's been buried. Easy access is misnomer. It's been buried in my Patreon blog. So I've updated. So now there's the latest version of the Atlas, of the 576 map, the 598 map, and now I'm getting into the heraldry. So I'm putting all links and all that stuff, updating my website with stuff. So you find I've updated. Now there's easy zoom versions of basically everything and the links to it and stuff, and there's more coming, so to speak, because it was something that a lot of people have asked me and say, oh, where can I find this, where can I find that stuff. So you shouldn't have to look through old blog posts to find it. So the download pages, and there's more coming too. So that has been the big thing. But I'm almost, thank you. Thank you. It's like casualty. Yep, that it's getting there. So it's and thankfully it seems to work fairly quickly too. I use a lot of SVG graphics instead of big PNGs or JPEGs. So I try to get it a fairly well working site. So, and I also have a lot more. I pay for a lot more bandwidth and a lot more bigger website, so to speak, with a lot more bells and whistles and horsepower behind it. So that seems to have done a lot of stuff to have a business web server program or plan that I'm on. So that really seemed to have helped to beef it up. And so that is coming. And also I've to my patrons, I have now skipped or made a blog post about my upcoming custom maps tier. And I must say, I've thought maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people could be interested, and a lot of people are interested. For it's $50 a month if you want me to work like I would done to Jay and Blue Box, Jana Blue Box. If you want to have a custom version of the Greyhawk map, you can have that, or have me work on other custom Greyhawk stuff for you, so to speak, heraldry and whatnot. So it's basically a tier that I will work 5 hours a month to do stuff. And I also have to put in a bunch of caveats, so to speak. It's not a full commission because it's still being things that being released under the Greyhawk fan creation policy, and it's Creative Commons. So you don't have an exclusive license. It's not a full commission where I develop stuff that you can use and sell and stuff. No, it's not. And I also keep the right to publish the same stuff as part of my Greyhawk fan creation policy. So if you ask me to map some really cool town or something in Greyhawk, and I think it's really cool and everybody should have it, I will keep the right to release it to the Greyhawk community, not to sell it and earn money directly, but to create it, to release it as Greyhawk fan creation policy. So it is but it's the right tier if you are a Greyhawk creator, you have your own stream, your own DM, and you run a regular Greyhawk game and stuff. Then I think it will be the tier for you. I will start with 10 slots in this tier because I want to have 1 week per month that I devote to this. That's like a big commission, so ongoing commission, and I will run it for 1 year. If I realize that 6 months in or 4 or 5 months in that, damn, this is kind of cool and it works well, then I might add more slots to it down the line, but there will be 10 already. And there has been a short list of 8 now, I think, that has been nagging me and wanting to throw money at me for months. So I will send them the information when this goes live first, so to speak. And then, but there will be a couple of slots others. And I'm also pretty sure that there are some that wants to have something done in a few months, for a few months. And then they say, now it's okay. Now I don't want to pay you $50 because you've done what I needed to do. So I'm pretty sure there will be some churn. Some people will be on this slot for a few months, and then they will say, okay, now it's enough for now, so to speak. So I'm sure there will be openings in a few months. So even if all the slots go like this, then there will probably be openings down the line, so to speak. So and of course, if there's like an enormous demand for this and there is like a waiting list of 20 people, I might have to raise the price in the future to make it a bit more fair. But on the other hand, then it's only rich people that can have it. So so that might not be fair either. So it's a little bit back and forth. But I priced it so I take $10 per hour I'm working on it, so to speak, which I think is fairly fair to do it, so to speak. But I think it could be fun to work and do stuff. And you can, of course, use all of the stuff as a base that I've already created. So you pick, if you want to have your own custom version of the map, you pick the 576 or the 598 as a base and start going from there, so to speak. And if you just want me to do custom heraldry, we can do that too. So it's kind of, yeah, it's a little bit up whatever you want to do. And I also will keep the right to say, no, I'm not going to do that. That's one of the, and you also have the right to simply say, no, I'm canceling, I'm not going. So you don't tie yourself up. You can cancel the next month if you want to. So that's the other part, just like the regular Patreon tiers. So the big thing is the website and stuff. And I also must thank all my patrons. I have 399 patrons.
Wow.
Which is kind of awesome. This is the all-time record. So I'm
awesome.
Just blown away. It's fantastic. And I feel like I've neglected you guys a bit because I've been working on website stuff. I've been working on Altamira stuff. I've been working on publishing the new 598 map and big projects that hasn't really been that visible, so to speak. And I worked on stuff for my own campaign. So there is a whole bunch of this that will come out later too. First, the 598 map was a big one that has been dumped now. So it's out there. So you can go to my website and download and get all the versions of it. And there's also a reduced size of the 598 map because the full size of it is more than 30,000 pixels across. And there are some computers and operating systems and tools that don't allow for bigger, that can't process JPEGs that are bigger than 30,000 pixels across. So I made a version that is 30,000 pixels. So it's a reduced size version. So if it doesn't work for some reason, you download the reduced size and it might work, and the PDF, but the PDFs are a resource hog. So if it doesn't work, use the Easy Zoom version because that one works in a browser and it works really well. So thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for so it's, and there's a lot more coming. I'm working on Death Knight heraldry. There's a whole bunch of Shieldland stuff, but I don't want to release any of it until after virtual Greyhawk Con because I don't want to spoil it for my players and stuff there. So they will be released afterwards and stuff. And so there's I have over 1,000 square miles of maps that is being developed for that, and there's a bunch of custom monsters and stuff like that for the campaign that will come to as well. So and I'm working on the White Plume Mountain as part of it. So the whole Shieldlands is under mapping as a test bed for my upcoming, so to speak, porta potty scale. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff coming, but it will be the upcoming months, so to speak. And then people have asked me, would you consider doing religious symbols and stuff? And yes, religious symbols, banners, flags, and battle standards and stuff are things that I'm looking into. And now when I have Mid-Journey and better cool stuff in Photoshop, damn, I can get dangerous at doing stuff like that. So we now have I have some really cool tools, and I have a whole list of heraldry I want to do. So I really, and the interest and all the wonderful feedback you've given me the past 6 months when I've dug into heraldry. And that's the other thing. In this fall, heraldry compendium is coming up too. And I have I'm going to present my ideas for the format and stuff on heraldry compendium. And that's something I want to do on the seminar at virtual Greyhawk Con. I want to produce some mock-ups and some ideas on what the heraldry compendium could be. So yeah,
it's possible. War gamers. Alrighty, I'll go through this quick.
Matthew, the 598 Atlas, yes, that's one of the. Oh yeah, you're wrong button again. Yeah, the 598 Atlas is one of the things I'm considering, and it will basically be if Dwayne are willing to help me do the index, we can do a 598 Atlas because it is not that difficult because I have the all the templates and stuff from the 576 Atlas, and now it's the same base map, so we can basically cut it up into the same pieces and do it. So that I will ask Dwayne, and then we'll see if we can do that in winter sometime. So yeah.
Tomorrow night, the first level new Norwell Headhunter initiates made it to Newbriar, and what do I do with low levels? I split the party in half, and they go on 2 separate adventures at the same time. One is taken from Shadows of the Halfling Hall. It's kind of a sequel, which is the Troller Games adventure, The Revenge of Mudge, who's they know as a kobold. And then Legend of Gartholga is an adventure from Dungeon 91, which actually takes place in the Gnarly Forest. So, gotcha, Landscape. They'll get you on that. So, yeah, and here's the terrain is set up. And there's Gartholga. I had to use a large pig figure for Gartholga. Awesome. Yeah, hopefully this one may be next week. We may get to this beginning of this at the end of tomorrow night, but finish it up next week. And then here is a simulated kobold assault on the kobolds of Mudge. So just to show you some of the terrain setups we have for that. That is tomorrow night. Here's the surprise, everyone. So Ed contacted me. I mentioned this earlier in the stream and said, well, I'm free on September 4th. I know it's real short notice, so if you can't do anything, no problem. I said, Ed, I only got a Wall of Fame deep dive going on. I'll just push that back a week. So
yep.
Monsters of Greyhawk and the Realms this Sunday night, 7:00 p.m. EDT, which is cool because we get Ed twice in 1 week. And then next Wednesday, Living Greyhawk Valuna. So Casey will be on instead of Mike, and we'll do the Valuna discussion with the triads from Valuna. First time they will be on. Is that correct, Casey? Or is that wrong? So maybe I'm wrong.
I think
if it's not, we got to schedule something else. So
okay.
Maybe I misunderstood.
I hope that. Yeah. Yep.
And then a week from wrong, let me know. We're still a week out. A week from Saturday, our next special. So, okay, yeah. Oh, David Christ, wow. The new 2-drink minimum in the New God, adventure number 970. 2-drink minimum returns. Chuck Cumbo is going to be the special guest with a Crusader. Now he's flip-flopping back and forth, which is driving me crazy. The Crusader class is a class I use. It's Eric Boyd's creation, so Eric will like that. He's either going to play Crusader of Heronius or Crusader of Tritharion, and they can't be. One's lawful good and one's chaotic good. They're really diametric. I was like, Chuck, make up your freaking mind so I can finalize this character, but that's Chuck. So that character will be joining the group for this adventure, which will take place right outside of Altamira. So there you go, and that'll be on next Saturday, and then the next day we'll do the Wall of Fame deep dive, which got delayed a week because Ed decided he could play. So yeah, not a big deal there. All right, that's what's going on. Last call signups for the giveaways, and then
you mentioned that we have on Friday there will be a mapping live show too. So we'll sit and do some work.
Oh yes, Anna will do hers. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Thanks, Adam. This week only 3 because it's a holiday weekend, but 4 next week. 4 streams next week. So, all right, I'm going to close this out. Let's see who the 2 winners are, and then we'll get with me, and then we will thank you for all the follows, the gift subs, everything. It was a really good start to the week here. Let me close this out. So, thanks. Yeah, I got doing some stuff with the family on Saturday night, Friday. Yeah, we're having some fun times. Winners. We can get on him one soon. Uncle Fuzz, a winner.
Oh.
GD, a winner. Are they both on? I know if I saw Fuzz on. Uncle Fuzz.
Oh yeah, he was on a couple of minutes ago.
They're both on.
Yep.
Yeah, they're both on.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So I will get with you both, and we'll decide what you want. And if you don't have anything, we can. I got it from this pile here. Thank you both. Tomorrow night, Reaper and Portrait Workshop giveaway tomorrow night. 2 giveaways. One from Reaper, which is normal night, and a Portrait Workshops one because it wasn't claimed from last month. So you get two of them, and it's in. You can buy it now. Portrait Works is out, so you can buy that. And we'll see everyone. See everyone tomorrow night, 7:30.
Yeah, thank you.
We're gonna raid into Chuck.
everybody.
We're gonna raid everyone to Troller Games. Have a great night. Thank you all for the wonderful support. See you soon. Good night. All right, let me set this up. Thank you. Give Chuck hell, everyone. Just kidding. Raid. I didn't find it. All right. See if we can get 75 plus would be awesome. Say hi to Chuck for me. We're right there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you tomorrow night.